On the 23rd of March 2016, Microsoft released a new chatbot named Tay on Twitter. Described by Microsoft as an experiment in conversational understanding, Tay was built to have conversations with people through tweets and DMs with the slang of the internet. In the words of its creators, Tay was meant to be, and I quote, Microsoft's AI fam from the internet that's got zero chill. I don't know. Tay was designed to learn more about human language as she interacted with people through their tweets. She was to learn the patterns of our communication and then emulate it when trying to create her own speech. Tay's first few tweets were fun and harmless. However, in just a few hours, everyone was in horror as Tay started tweeting the most offensive things imaginable. Things along the lines of, and again, I quote, Bush did 9/11 and Hitler would have done a better job. In just 16 hours, Tay tweeted 95,000 times, with the majority of her tweets being extremely abusive and offensive. In less than a day, Microsoft had to suspend the account and the entire experiment. A complete social failure if you ask me, but it did do its job the way it was programmed to do. Tay was not designed to think for herself. She was built to learn from the language that was spoken to her. And so when people recognized that she was nothing more than a parrot bot, they intentionally started tweeting the most insensitive and offensive things at her, tweets she echoed right back into the world. Sadly, many people today are like Tay. We constantly feed ourselves with the same type of information, and without pausing for a minute to verify what is fact and form an unbiased opinion. Many of us simply echo everything we think right back into the world. Although we like to think that every opinion we have and every decision we make is down to our own best judgment and independent assessment, that's simply not true. More often than not, our opinions, beliefs, views, and thoughts about the world are influenced by a larger group of people. Research has shown that when presented with multiple options, we often mimic the choice of the people around us. Rather than spending time researching, asking questions, or learning about the different options to find out the best one for us, we often defer to the social norm. This is how humans have always been. We are social animals after all. However, now more than ever, it's becoming more and more important to think for yourself. A few decades ago, we only had a handful of different thoughts that we were exposed to, so it was easy to filter all of them and figure out what was right for us. But thanks to the internet and social media, there are billions of people with completely different worldviews, ideologies, and beliefs, and the societal norm is changing so rapidly that there's no time to pause and think, wait, is this really right for me? If you're not subscribed to my channel, there's a high chance that the YouTube algorithm brought you here, and if that's the case, hi. You see, algorithms are great. They bring everything we want right to our doorsteps. But there's one big problem. Slowly, they're beginning to dictate our lives. They're starting to think for us. First, it's content-based platforms like YouTube and Netflix suggesting things to you to watch. Soon, you're watching everything not because you searched for it, but because the algorithm suggested it. And to a large extent, this looks harmless. It exposes you to content you otherwise might not have seen, and gives smaller creators the chance to blow up without having an established pedigree. It's literally the reason Aperture has grown to the size it's at today. But then you have Amazon's algorithm that tells you all the products you should add to your cart alongside the one purchase you made. Then Gmail Smart Reply telling you how to reply to emails, and Tinder telling you who you're supposed to spend the rest of your life with. Before you know it, we give the algorithm the driver's seat, and we become passengers in our own lives, merely coasting through the roads we are suggested. This in and of itself is a problem, but the fact that the algorithm is not perfect makes it an even bigger one. For one, the algorithms that are now thinking for us don't actually think. They simply find patterns and parrot them. Once they realize we like or agree with a certain thing, we are constantly fed with that one thing. And in a short while, we find ourselves in an echo chamber, where everything we see and hear are only things we've agreed with in the past. It doesn't give much room for change, for growth, for the opportunity to listen to opposing arguments and learn. Think about it. How many times have you randomly found a video on YouTube that you completely disagreed with? Compare that to how many times you found a video that you enjoyed and completely agreed with. The difference is probably incredible. And the better the algorithms become, the better they will be at serving you that information that you already agree with. This leads to confirmation bias, the tendency to search for, interpret, favor, and recall information in a way that confirms or supports your prior beliefs or values. Because these algorithms constantly surround us with ideas that we already agree with, we quickly block our minds to every shred of evidence that contradicts this bias. There's a subtle difference between the desire to have been right and the desire to be right. The desire to have been right prevents us from seeing the real truth, causing us to hold on to ideas that might be illogically and factually flawed. We fail to see how we're wrong, and so we fail to learn and grow. We hold on to beliefs that we have been surrounded by, so much so that we start to seek out evidence to back up our bias and not to find out the truth. The truth is that humans find it very difficult to process information in an unbiased and rational manner once they've developed strong feelings or sentiments about the issue. So people interpret everything they see in a way that already agrees with everything they know and believe about the world. Some people believe in something called extrasensory perception. So, for example, they remember all the times they were thinking about their mom and picked up their phone only to see that she was calling. It seems like fate, in a way, but yet they forget all the times when mom called when they weren't thinking about her, and the other times when they were thinking about mom but she never called. Because they believe so strongly in extrasensory perception, they are far more likely to remember instances that back up their claims, even when the instances that don't agree with those claims occur far more frequently. To make our confirmation bias even worse, social media has created the influencer culture. People like me, apparently. Now, not only do we look to each other for guidance, we look to influencers, gurus, and thought leaders. Because we consider these people part of our packs, more so than traditional celebrities, we often place them on incredibly high pedestals, giving them the opportunity to, influence us. People buy a product because an influencer said so, even when the product might not be the best option for them. They employ unsafe dieting practices and workout routines just because an influencer said it'll work without doing the research for what works for their own body. People listen to fake gurus and influencers, and without taking the time to think for themselves, they do exactly what these people tell them to do, even if it's unhealthy and potentially dangerous. One of the biggest reasons people no longer seem to think for themselves is because they are scared of the repercussions. How can you think for yourself when sharing ideas that are not in accordance with the societal norm gets you exiled from society? When you could lose your job, your education, everything you've ever worked for, simply for thinking differently and expressing those different opinions. Yes, I'm talking about cancel culture. The real victims of cancel culture are the ideas that will be left unsaid, the thoughts left in the mind for fear of extreme backlash. It's the beliefs that are only expressed in the dark, where the big bright eyes of Big Brother cannot see. To prevent the rats from coming out, Big Brother urges you to double think. To prevent yourself from getting cancelled, a relatively new phenomenon, society urges you to groupthink. Coined by Irving Janis in 1972, groupthink simply means avoiding conflict by swiftly reaching an agreement without evaluating other options or alternative ideas. It means to bend your back to the societal norm without giving other ideas a second thought. The danger of this is that our individuality and uniqueness dies, and the world moves to a point where we all collectively agree on the same ideas. No difference in thought, no individual ideas, just groupthink. But it doesn't have to be this way. To think for yourself is a skill you must learn, else you become a puppet of someone else's programming. To think for yourself is to challenge your existing ideas, beliefs, and decisions. Ask yourself, are my thoughts mine, or are they simply influenced by everyone around me? My friends, my parents, society, influencers, and so on. To think for yourself is to look at the evidence, to investigate and to use thoughtful analysis. Understand that all of us battle with confirmation bias. We all want to seem to fit in, and so remember to not shy away from ideas that might negate your existing bias. To think for yourself is to battle with your mind. Go out there and find the roots of the ideas you support, and then find opposing arguments. Look at your newfound beliefs as diamonds encased in a rock. Before you get to the fine jewel in the middle, you must break through the rock with a lot of force, but carefully and diligently. Before you fully accept a new way of thinking, make sure that you've broken through the rock by wrestling with these new ideas in a way that might take you out of your comfort zone. To think for yourself is to go out there in search of information. Don't wait for an algorithm to keep echoing the things you already know. Acquire new knowledge. Feed your mind continuously by reading, listening, and discussing these big new ideas with a view from both sides. Break your pattern of thought and view everything the world has to say through your own lenses. To think for yourself is to be humble in your knowledge. One of the reasons people fall into the trap of confirmation bias is that they don't want to be wrong. We've built this idea for some reason that we have to protect ourselves from being wrong. People seem to pride themselves as intellectuals and knowledgeable, and disconfirming evidence goes against that notion. So they shy away from it, keeping themselves in the dark about the truth, simply because they want to keep up the facade of being right. Don't be scared of being wrong. There's literally nothing wrong with it. Remember, we used to think that the Earth was the center of the universe and that everything revolved around us. We're egocentric. We enjoy feeling important, and being right gives us that sense of superiority. But, in my mind, I feel as if you should be more concerned about finding out what's right and not craving the state of being right. To think for yourself is to be courageous, to not buckle under fear, pressure, or guilt. To stand up for what you believe in, as long as you have come to see it as the truth for yourself. To think for yourself is standing out and not going along with the crowd simply for the sake of keeping the so-called peace and avoiding confrontation. Because the truth is, we would have no new scientific discovery if the old ideas were never challenged. Everything we believe about the world today is a product of someone thinking outside of the box, challenging the status quo. We must do the same. Being a free thinker opens the avenue to ideas that some of us may never truly experience. And new ideas are something we can all benefit from as individuals. There is no progress without change, and there is no change without admitting there's a problem in the first place.
Someone's got to be a winner while the rest of you motherfuckers lose in life. I know what the fuck I'm talking about, and I know how to stand on the law and uphold it. I know how to make you bitch-ass fucking slaves look like a bunch of fools at court. Silver and bow tie gorilla. You know the deal. About 150 pathetic, cowardly, gaslighting, projecting, lying slaves showed up to the channel today to comment on a video that was aired on another coward's channel that got 53,000 views today. 53,000 pathetic citizen slaves watched me, and instead of read the headline and accept that we got dismissals, the case numbers are all right here, go get your buddies, go get all your buddies, go get them, Jake and all the rest. Dismissed without prejudice, right? Criminal complaint filed, public safety assessment, advisement to rights read, waiver of counsel filed, notice of hearing, conditional release that was again dismissed because I didn't follow any of the conditions, nor do I need to. Correspondence entered on the record, that would be by me. And then the weirdest thing happened. Notice of dismissal. Would you guys like the case numbers? Well, I'm going to give it to you anyway because you're all claiming that I'm not giving the case numbers. You don't care about the truth and what's right. You don't care about the law and the difference between legal and lawful. You're not interested in the facts. You're a bunch of projecting, bad faith, dishonorable, gaslighting, lying, cowardly, bitch-ass slaves. And none of you who commented on that video of me and Jennifer today, all day today, are going to come up on this panel and have a conversation with me. I'm doing fellowship. I'm saving souls and doing ministry indirectly. So keep it up. Keep talking about me. Keep promoting me. Definitely don't show up here because you know what you're going to get, right? And just keep letting your little flying monkey audience try to gaslight everybody else that we got no movement, no value, no power, no knowledge. I'm way more intelligent than the majority of you Dunning-Kruger slaves. This is why we fought a war against you lying, bad faith, ungodly, satanistic, limey scum. Because we were tired of being up under your bitch asses. Imagine someone like me being ruled by someone like you. Get a fucking clue. You fucking beta male whales dwelling coward. 3/4 of you guys from the UK and Europe are a bunch of punk bitch cowards and would make it 3 seconds on New York, where I'm from, or on America, because of who you are and how you talk and how you live. That case has been dismissed, and now they're all getting sued, and they wish they wouldn't have done what they did. Why don't you report on that part? Why don't you lion, beta male, fish and chip cowards report on that part? Man, fiery Gorilla Gems intro, and that's an angry man. I'm working on my anger because Dr. Pizer, before I blocked him in my chat, advised me that I need to work on my anger. I'm practicing faith, as always. I'm practicing trust and equity. I'm practicing forgiveness. And I'm just as sweet as pie lately. Have you seen me? Denying it. How are you, Mr. Chris Rasta?
What's good, brother? Good to see you.
You as well. What can I do for you, sir? What do you want to speak about? Because we're going to sail right through this, so don't fault me if I, if there's not too much chatter,
I just want
yakety yak.
to see how your health is and say hi to you, and I'll be out. Just want to say what's up.
Better than it was. Seems to be slowly getting better. I've determined, well, at least one of my issues, which I knew about the gallbladder, seems that it went into a pancreas situation. So, but it seems to be getting better. I'm going to keep taking some natural steps, working with what I got and seeing if we can heal it on its own and not have to cut things out of my body like the slaves, in uniform would like to do, I'm sure. So we'll see how that goes.
Well, it's an honor to meet you, and on this quest of
What do
life.
you mean it's an honor to meet me?
I've
been here for 2 or 3 years. Well, yeah, are you in your second childhood? You got Alzheimer's already from all the spraying going on down over there?
Yeah, I just want to say, if anything ever happens, because anything can happen to any of us at any time, it's just an honor to walk next or with you, so that's all.
Well, the same is, the feeling is mutual, as they say.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, we're all here for a common bond and a common purpose. If we let it be, we're all here for the same confusion and chaos and lack of control of self, and therefore certain aspects of our fate, if we let it be, it would seem. So we're united in that, if nothing else, as Mr. Vaughn, who I saw us down there again, said one day, we're all in this together. I go, yeah, there's two sides of in this together, heaven and hell, right?
Right.
And that's kind of choice based, it would seem, to some degree, if not completely. Why are you saying goodbyes? There you go. He goes, well,
I know. I was like, why did I say it? I was like, fuck, it came out wrong, man. So I didn't mean it like that. I meant like, I want to see everyone out there with any sicknesses overcome it. And I think we're reincarnated until we do our job here, or we continue doing our job. So I don't think we ever leave. I feel we're always here some way or another,
So basically what you're saying is I should start working like I'm getting paid by the hour if I want to stick around here a while longer. Stop rushing into everything. Let it breathe a little bit, right? Do less and get more.
No, just
the slack cot philosophy.
I want to see you keep kicking ass. Anyone out there that's standing for rights and freedom and doing their own work in the mix, I'm really proud of everybody that's doing that shit. So.
Well, that's doing what's necessary, on different levels. So, the creature that shall not be named, we'll just call him Keith Talcott, who was in my Telegram recently. He made an interesting statement, and one of the other folks, Rainier, I believe it was, picked up on it. He keeps pushing, like they all do, this idea of Pauli's standard. Like, we get to set a standard for ourselves, but newsflash, life reveals an objective standard of how to live, if you haven't noticed. Unless you're just completely delusional and denial, which I suggest potentially is the case. But if you're any kind of awake and aware, right, like what you do is going to determine what you get and who you are. And then that's going to determine what you need to do and be next, and so on and so forth. Wash, rinse, repeat. When you start to like grow up a little bit and recognize some level of reality and get real with yourself and others, or just God, and sort of see the idea of cause and effect, right? Like who we are is what we create is who we are. There's a an inverse, converse, reverse. I don't know how you would consider it, but relationship. There's a reflective relationship, I guess you could say, to all these things. So it's not Paulie Boy's standard. I didn't wake up one day and go, you know what? I'm going to like set a standard of rights, freedom, principles, spiritual faith. I said that I'm going to set it, but it's not mine. I didn't create it. I don't have a monopoly on it. I became aware of it and I decided to act on it to some degree. And I'm continuing that process. Part of principles, as we know, is taking care of your health, right? So life on life's terms revealed to me, Paulie, obviously they've been telling you all the time, making fun of you. You can't just eat whatever you want to eat and do whatever you want to do because you're going to get fucked up at some point. You already have in the past and you learn the hard way. If you learn it all, right? That's my walk. I learn the hard way if I learn it all. So it's not my standard. My standard was pizza and pasta every day and potentially tiramisu, right? Turns out life on life's term standard is you better eat some leafy greens and all the rest of the crap you may not like. But if you like stop eating for 31 days, you start to like anything. So coming back, resetting, I go, I love these vegetables and fruits and all the rest of it because if you have nothing and then you have something, something's preferable to nothing, usually. Unless it's like delusion and denial. None of that's preferable to a lot of that, I guess. But
some posture right here.
Get clear, Paulie's not a narcissist because I have to be in love with my own reflection. I'm not that pretty, but God's truth is, supernatural beingness is. So I reflect that. If anything, I've learned to like or get in love with that. My reflection is horrid. Look away, I'm hideous. My results are terrible. Always were. Like, let's just get really real with ourselves and each other. So let's cut the crap with Paulie's narcissistic and egotistical. I don't love the reflection of who I've been most of my life. I love the reflection of the truth that saves me from who I've been all my life. Do we have to invoke the Christed beingness for the savior archetype to happen? The save by grace idea to be felt or understood? I don't believe so, but maybe there's something I'm missing. Maybe I need a daddy. Like so many of us. Maybe we've had a daddy indwelling or externally, cosmically this whole time, and we've just failed to come under that umbrella, right? And honor that. A lot of this archetypal sort of metaphorical lingo, I guess you could say. All right, I'm going to look over the chat. Doesn't seem to be too much going on. Yapping puppy and body of albino gorilla. The link is down there. If you'd like, you can come on up, but I'm going to help you out for now. A lot of you folks, you like to come in on alts and you just can't go away and stay away. You're obsessed with your daddy. So I love you, son. Blessings to you. Get well soon. Goodness creates goodness. You can learn a lot from Mr. Talcott if you get out of your imagination. I'll see you later. You folks are absolutely delusional in denial, along with Mr. Slackcott. Mr. Slackcott's life and life circumstances are not good at all on any level. If you all want to keep following him around and repeating his nonsense and showing how like unaware you are and unreconciled and dissolute, have at it. I'm not stopping you folks. Why do you keep showing up here and telling me how to be and how to live? It's bizarre. You all forget as well that Mr. Slackcott didn't have any platform or anything till he came here begging me to help him with his horrible life. We have to go back to that first episode. It's there. Join the Telegram and you can use that tool the guy put. You can find any episode with anybody. Some AI tool. So let's cut the games. I don't need to learn anything from Mr. Talcott. He's not teaching anything from his firsthand experience. He's repeating other people's understandings and experiences, and he's doing them in a shoddy, shipshod way that's all over the place with little to no clarity, and there's little to no result. So, delusion and denial does not create goodness, and that's what's going on with him and his life and over there. The man just wasted another $1,000 or couple $1,000 to be a dupe rube at a convention where he's not speaking and not wanted. They just wanted to sell a ticket to be part of something. And he's imagining that he's going to become famous and he's going to hit the lotto and everyone's going to respect him and his family's going to come back to him. It's a pipe dream. Delusion and denial begets delusion and denial. Okay. And then we turn to me and my somewhat redeemed life and lifestyle where there's a ton of goodness happening either within me to some degree or within my life. And I can point to that within me and the external, and I can make the correlations. And so can many others here with actual results, understanding, and facts. Just saying stuff because you feel it doesn't make it real. Ignoring the facts and the solutions or lack thereof and the results definitely doesn't make it real. It makes you ignorant and arrogant while you claim that that's me. It makes you egotistical and narcissistic while you claim that's me. Okay, so you're all free to think and do and feel whatever you please. I have not gone over there or anyone else and haven't bothered any of you, yet you can't stop coming back here and trying to extol the non-virtues of a clown who has no results. And it doesn't mean I want anything bad to happen to Mr. Talcott, right? There's oftentimes I reflect, I have love for him. I always have. I have a care for him. I want him to do and be and have better like any other person, because not being that way would make me a hater. Am I going to deny reality and cause and effect in order to show a false love, false peace, and encourage someone to continue to do what they've always done and get what they've always got that they keep complaining about? No, because that's called being delusional and denial. It's called being ignorant and arrogant. It's called being a bad friend. It's called not being equally yoked. It's called not being able to be part of a community and communion with truth, if nothing else, let alone God. So please stop coming over here and trying to incite me to make me look like a bad, evil, wrong person. That's you, folks. You have nothing else to do and be if it's not talking about all the people you say are your enemies and doing wrong. What else do you have to do and show and be? Here's a man who has stuff to do and show and be. Let's look at the difference. I don't want to get him a big head like they gave to me. That's what they'll say. But like, there's a difference here. You got two people here right now who are doing and being stuff on the ground to change themselves in their life and serving something outside themselves. Is it a coincidence they find themselves here? Is it a coincidence when they go to other places, they at some point, no matter how nice, kind, and polite they are, have to confront the fact that they're being grifted on and bullshitted by a bunch of wannabe influencers and gurus? Yeah. So we can see, we know who's who and what's what. We know cause and effect through our experience. And if you can't articulate from that space, you got little to nothing. So let's stop the cope hallucination fest, at least over here, right? Keep it where it's nurtured constantly, right? That false light that you moths are drawn to like a flame. Just go over there and feed that false light flame 24/7, 365. No need to interact with the likes of me. I'm a bad man. You know, according to you folks. That's ego, right? That's ego when you point out obvious cause and effect and result, right? I'm so in love with me because I'm pointing out the obvious that they keep neglecting and rejecting, right? It's a you problem. It's got nothing to do with me. Quite frankly, I was entertained by it for the last 2 or 3 years until I just got kind of bored of it. It's the same shit all day, every day. You guys do nothing and go nowhere in life. You make a bunch of coped out excuses and justifications. And when you're called on your bullshit, you try to insult everyone's intelligence. And then you try to project onto others to avoid accountability and responsibility. It's beyond cowardice. Go ahead, Mr. Wilson. I'm going to get over there at some point. I've been on the road all week. We found a house that needs to be redone. It was apparently acquired through a tax auction. Beautiful piece of land, trees, mountains, the whole deal. And seemingly pretty decent community of rights, freedom, principles, and faith, Southern Oregon. But I
what?
will be
No way, bro. That's cool.
Where are you at?
I'm up in Washington.
Oh, so you're going to be right above me, like the other creature over there.
Yeah, you'll have
please tell me you're not on Spokane.
Nah, we in the Yakima Valley.
Is that up north or south?
It's like an hour and a half from the border, from Columbia River.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
so
go ahead, sir. You have for the time being, right? You have somewhat of a free reign over here. Because I want to believe that you're one of the few who's attempting to do what's true and what's right and not be a complete grifter, sellout, Babylonian scum. So because I somewhat recognize that reflection of self within self, right? There's namaste and there's namaslave. Then there's unslavement. I want to be a support and a co-creation with those who are of like mind and kind in who they are or what they serve, right? And the rest can politely get fucked for obvious reasons.
Politely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the best way of putting it. But nah, yeah, I think the energy is really good right now. I think a lot of people have been drained for the past 4 years, and I don't fall into the political aspect either, but I pay attention to the energy of the people, and the energy of the people is somewhat looking towards, or looking and hoping for the best as we come into this. And I think some of the early on things when I first came in with you, well, I've known you for quite a long time now, but I'll say like when I released my book and I came on and came back over and started talking to you because people were mentioning you again over, with me. And something that kind of just resonated with you is, don't be one of those guys that just gets out here and tries to sell everything. And you right about that, because, and I guess what you stated to me in that aspect kind of really stuck within the subconscious due to the fact that, I don't sell anything now. But at the same time, it's like, man, I wake up at 7 a.m. and, I sleep at 12. And when I put my phone down at 12, I just get off the phone with talking to somebody or helping somebody. So it's like,
Right. And what I'm telling you is, and this is it's a hard road to hoe at times. It's a test and a challenge. I found that if you do what's right and you really put your all into this and you work with people who are willing to do the work, not just everybody, because you'll spread yourself too thin, you will have a contingent of equitable folks who don't need to be told to give back the value and the power that they've been given, right? And that's what I've experienced. And, again, you'd be surprised. I don't want to talk numbers specifically, but you'd be surprised how, and I'm not telling you the majority at all is going to be like that. The majority of folks will take whatever they can get. They'll use you up. They'll abuse you as well when they don't get what they want. And they'll give you little to nothing back because they're entitled and they're selfish, right? And they're greedy. But there are few who really care. They see your value and your worth if you see it. And if you truly serve, they will return the favor, right? So you won't have to beg and you won't have to lie and you won't have to grift and push bullshit products. Because did we really come into this for that?
Right.
And if we didn't come into this for that, if we start doing that, aren't people going to look at us like, hey, bro, you didn't come into this for that. And now that you got a little motion going, you want to start, pushing everything but the kitchen sink. And it's just, for me, again, everyone has to decide for themselves. For me, I didn't come into this for that. I'm going to continue to not do that. There's been limited, like the guy made the shirt for me one time. And I said, well, if you're going to do all this and people want it, it was like 50 shirts, whatever it is, but it's far from trying to sell trifolds and books and open up a whole fucking gift shop and all the rest of it, stickers, cards. Give me a break.
The books are good.
Your crap doesn't work anyway, right? Their crap doesn't work anyway. That's what's scary. Go ahead.
Well, the books are good though. I will say that, because, and it depends on like the level of what you're putting forth in your book, right? Because if you're intentionally not putting forth everything that you have come to find out, intentionally keeping something out just to lead someone on to the next book, then that's a problem. But if you, are putting out a book, like I guess I got a twofold book that I'm about to put together. One's called Rebut That Shit, and it's about the 12 presumptions in relation to Roman law. And then I got another one that I'm going to couple with that. So I'm going to do a 2-part book in one, and that one's called Self-Governed, bro. And the reason I'm doing it 2-part, because I think it'd just be best if both of them are put into one because of how much information is there. But that it's just I'm getting deeper and deeper and deeper as I just continuously help people more and more and more with every experience that I'm going through with these people. It allows me never would have gotten deeper and deeper and deeper if it wasn't for these people in the first place, because none of these things apply to me anyways. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't put myself in situations like that. But even so, like, if I have to tell a quick story real quick, just
you're breaking up a little bit, bro. You're gonna have to get somewhere where you're stable, because it's cutting in and out. But let me just speak on this while I got it off the top of my head. Folks, and there's some truth to this. When it comes to the majority will not give you anything until you give them something that they can tangibly hold in their hand. They want to buy something from you, right? It's just kind of the psychology of sales. There's another psychology here that the faithless don't understand, which is the psychology of charity. What I mean by that is, what could it possibly cost to make up 10 soft cover books cheap as possible? What, $1,000? If you're not squandering your resources and you're working and have been working and you're saving and reinvesting, $1,000 really shouldn't be much to invest into yourself and what you create. If you gave away those 100 books that cost you $1,000 to make, 1 or 2 or 3 people are going to give you back way more than the book is worth because it changed their life. So you got an option. Give them the book for $20, in which case you're only going to get $20. Give them the book out of what's true and what's right and the kindness of your heart. They may give you back a house. See? I'm just trying to open people's mind to the idea that when you work in trust, equity, and faith, what you put out is what you get back. Not the majority of time, but the minority makes up for the majority. And I get it. My father told me it's not going to work. That's not how life works. No, I proved another concept. Okay. So when you do what's true and what's right, you work in trust, equity, and faith, you give away everything that you got. There's 3 out of 100 that says, you know what, Paulie boy, we see who and what you are in your heart and you help to change our life and you give us something regularly. Here's what's going to make up for all the rest who didn't give it to you. Now you're way ahead of the game. So instead of turning 1,000 into 2,000, you can turn 1,000 into 100,000. See? But you got to work in trust, equity, and faith, and you got to turn it over to God, so to speak, and you got to allow God to work through the people, just like God works through you. Okay? That's just been my experience. I can't tell anyone else what to do and be. I can tell you that some way, somehow, if I have to go do a 180 like DeCastro, I'm not going to be begging for green dots. I'm good. Not only because God has blessed me either directly or through the people in various ways and vice versa, but because I manage my affairs properly, right? I mean, isn't that what this is about? God doesn't allow you to stack a war chest so you could not go to war. And I'm just saying that proverbially, sort of metaphorically, rather. So you want to trick off, you want to sell this crap and do double ups and triple ups and then trick off and get houses and cars and all the rest of it. You're going to be crying and whining when you got to pay the piper. When you live within your means, you do without certain things. That, to me, the way I am anyway, I'm such a simple man. I'm not doing without anything. I'm like way ahead of the game, right? But I'm just different, I guess, than most people. If they don't have the Beamer, Benz, and Bentley, if they ain't got the condo in the hills, if they ain't got the goofy bitch who's tricking off half their salary every year, I don't know. I don't move like that. When I deal with a woman, she's got to be a worker. She's got to be successful. She got to have money, unless we're having children, and that hadn't been the case. We don't mess with bummy bitches over here, right? In order to trigger, if we want to trigger a little bit, we mess with people who get down to business one way or the other. As you can see, Jennifer's one of those people. So, when you get down to business and you do what's true and what's right and you call in other people who are doing that, there should be abundance. Really. Nobody should really need anything from anybody. And then whatever comes back should be what's meant for you because of what's come from you and how you serve God in the community. This is what's overlooked so much, but has been essentially, as far as I understand it, one side of the dualistic dynamic from the beginning of time. With that said, I got to thank Andrew H., I believe it is, who's been regularly kicking in. He's finding some power, some value, some entertainment here, whatever the case may be. So you'd be surprised how many times I see 2, 3, 5 people drop off. They go other places. They start giving contributions to the lowest forms of life. Right. And they stop fucking with me for whatever reason. And 2 and 3 or however many people take that place. And I've been almost baffled by how that works. Right. Not only the fact of how people are so easily deceived over a long period of time and turned from the way, and then siphoned off of, and then how God has a way of replacing. Right. Like I've said in the past, there's a song like that. Right. Lost what I thought was a plug. Turned out it was a middleman. Lost a bad friend and got a better one. Something along those lines, right? So you don't even know what God is preparing for you until you let go of what God has already given you, right? As if you can get, keep, or have anything, right? Other than maybe your self-respect, your principles and your integrity and the way you practice. And even that we tend to lose from time to time, getting caught in the shuffle. Cameron, are you steady now? Are we good to go?
Yeah, I think I should be.
All
But
right.
no,
So
that
yeah,
was some good
continue where
stuff
you
you was
left off.
just saying. No, that was just good what you were saying right there, though, because the only things that are really truly are valuable are things that are everlasting. You know, I mean, memories, what you can make with other people, those are the other everlasting things. You know, you talk about people, want to sell things just to, get the newest car, the newest house. It's like, man, those things really aren't valuable whatsoever, bro. When you ain't got none of that, what are you gonna be holding on to? You're gonna be holding on to the memories in which you made. So I kind of look at it like that too. I think I found a lot of value out of that. But no, I'm just super busy, bro. That's all. I just came to listen, gain a little bit of insight as I got some off time and some downtime, moving away. Being able to just listen is sometimes very beneficial rather than always having to talk. So I really don't even want to talk right now. I just would love to listen to what you got to say.
Yeah, I mean, you do enough talking anyway. So, yeah, hang out, man, if you want to get in where you fit in. But yeah, I've encouraged other folks here, and they report the same thing, similar thing back to me that they're it's counter instinctual in a way, or it's counter to what we've been nurtured or lack thereof into, in the sense of everyone goes, "Nah, man, set your price." Like Jay-Z, set your price and live your life on them. And it's like, okay, you could do that, but if you ain't got that market demand to do that, first of all, it's going to cause you to start living a certain way, where you see every interaction as a transaction. And I don't know how you want to live. I don't want to live that way. Right. So living in trust, equity, and faith works for self first and foremost, and it works with other selves as well, because they're not going to forget you. Right. They're not going to deny that you were there for them when they might not have been there for themselves. They're not going to deny that while they can call everyone else a grifter and a fraud, I ain't that. So the real ones recognize, right? Like they say on the ground, real recognize real. When they see what you're about, and they see what you serve and what you're into and what you're not serving and what you're not into, people are going to look out. That's just the way that life is. I don't care if you go to a fucking prison. I don't care if you do YouTube. You do what's true and what's right. You keep it all the way real, good, bad, or indifferent. Someone's going to look out, off the strength of it. And that's the way it's supposed to be, it would seem to me. Everything else is busyness, it's corporatocracy. It's a fixation and a fetishizing of exchangism and transactionalism. And the real exchange and the transaction is, as the man said, what is real. And what is real is what is eternal and unchanging. The truth, power, true value, true love, aka true care. See, that's where the action's at. That's the coin of the realm, the inner realm, right? That's the coin of the other realm. And it translates to the coin of this realm as well. Most things tend to be that way. What's powerful in one realm is powerful in the other realm. That's how we do this legal lawful thing. Because when I go in spitting straight facts, as they like to say, God's truth, the devils move out of the way because I'm not their people. I'm at that court to be governed by God, good, bad, or indifferent. And I'm not saying they always do, but 9 out of 10 times in my case, they have, because they recognize we're here to govern the devil's people, the people in and of the world, the Babylonians. We're not here for you. And it comes with getting in their jurisdiction, believing in their codes, arguing and fighting the codes. You guys could believe whatever you want, do whatever you want. It's part of your society, and your codes got nothing to do with me. I got my own society under God. I got my own codes of honor, and it's based in truth, and it's eternal, and it's immovable and unshakable. What happens when unstoppable force meets an immovable object? They tell me annihilation. You know what annihilation means? To move from the physical realm to the spiritual realm. Hello. That's where the true power is at. It's right in the damn scriptures. Every scripture you pick up from all over the world, it's the same idea, the same understanding. I'm just communicating in the lowest street lingo sort of way, the most boiled down basic salt of the earth, everyday understanding, and it's, again, counter instinctual to what we believe that we are or understand about this world. And that's what makes it paradoxically such an interesting experience in revelation, that everything you think's not going to work will work if you put your all into it, even when it doesn't work, because it's going to reveal more about who and what you are. Like Julian the other day, he came here for months. You could see he was fearful. I was a little bit concerned, And I said, hey, bro, they're going to wind up liking you and respecting you. Don't run with this rap like the castrated was trying to do on your boy down there the other day. Make a victim out of everybody. You know, oh my God, Cameron, well, you just want us all to get locked up and get our bunghole searched. And oh, don't tell my audience that, yeah, you want to make a, he even called them on it. You just want to make a victim out of yourself and the whole audience. You keep everyone disempowered because keeping motherfuckers disempowered is profitable for the devils. You haven't noticed? You haven't noticed? You know, it's not profitable for the devil, empowering a motherfucker,
Right.
raising a motherfucker up. Freeing a motherfucker from their bondage and vice. Go ahead, sir. Yeah. You gotta let me finish when I'm in my mode, man. Good. You know you gotta let me finish.
No, I know it's homeboy hit it too. He straight up pulled out the trifold and said, "Listen here, man. I sell a trifold. Okay, I sell a trifold, and I tell people to pull out their ID and give up their registration. I sell a trifold." He was so adamant about it, bro. Like, we're not gonna argue this because I sell a trifold. Okay.
Yeah. That's all that mattered. Just like when I called him the other day on the broadcast, he goes, 2,000 trifolds at $20 a piece. Do the math, Playboy. You're talking 4Gs. That's big money to you, bro. Grifting? You sell your soul. These are such low price hoes. They sell their whole soul and the rest of their fade out for 4Gs. They have no idea. And they think they're balling. They think they're pimping. I go, you guys have no idea. Keep judging a motherfucker. Keep thinking, you know, you don't. That's obvious on any level, and keep making a fool out of yourself, right? He goes, this is great content, man. I said, you're damn right it is. I knew if I called your bitch ass up and kept calling you, you'd reveal who and what you are in front of everybody. I love it. I love this game. And now, you know, the weak ass, pathetic audience will pretend like it never happened or they'll never get the memo because they want to stay in their echo chamber, right? And continue to be victims and have a hero savior.
Well, they're not.
There's nothing different about what they turned the Jesus character into versus what they turn these idol worshipped non-content creators into. It's like one for one, a reflective dynamic of holographic nature, because that's what this universe is. You got folks who are trying to empower you with the knowledge that you go off and walk and get results in, and there's folks who want you to idol worship them because that's the only power and value they got on all levels. Try to figure out who's who if you can, right? It shouldn't be that hard. Do the math, Playboy, on 200. I don't give a fuck about none of that, bro. Do the math on you selling out your whole soul and being a broken bitch and hoe and letting that woman on a bench talk to you the way she did and not stand for nothing after calling yourself a scholar. You could give me $1 million to show up the way that you did for myself and these people and what's true and what's right in God, the way that you did. You couldn't give me $1 billion. There's nothing you could give me in this realm that I would accept, such less for myself and others, because I truly care at this point. It wasn't always that way, right? See, they want to make fun of me. Oh, you're a drug addict. Oh, you live in a trailer and this, that, and the third. Like, I got my shit together on like 9 out of 10 levels, and I'm leveling up on the health side too lately, right? So just keep letting the turtle do the turtle race while all the jackrabbits run out ahead and fall asleep, and watch what the fuck happens. You know, this is the testament of a being who keeps going, who does what's true and what's right. You can't keep a good man down who serves something outside of themselves. A man who has a why can overcome any how. That's trust, equity, and faith. And look at how many times I give it away, and motherfuckers who have nothing to do with this come back and show the results to the rest of you. That's a proven idea at that point. You got Julian who knows nothing, goes to court. He's facing 6 months. They go, commuted sentence. You did the 2 days when the cop first locked you up. Forget the rest of the 30 we're sentencing you to. Commute it right now, unlike the castrated who hired an attorney and all the rest. And then the administrator gave him the answer on how to challenge jurisdiction next time. So he's out now. He's going to be someone who, if he's like me, he can't wait to get arrested again. Not that he's going to make it happen. But part of him, the player, goes, I don't want it to happen, but the next time I get arrested, I'm just going to use what this administrator already told me to use, because he gave you the answer. While you all claim that they're beating you up and sacrificing you and making a slave out of you and doing mockery and humiliation. Oh, that's true, because you did that to yourself first before you walked into there. What you put out is what you get back. See, when Julian and I and others walk in there with a good heart and pure intention, and we speak what's true and what's right, and we stand on it and show we have balls, show that we have conviction and courage to serve something outside of ourselves just because it's true and what's right, not for a motherfucking dollar are we doing it. Even the demons got to show respect, right? What did Sun Tzu say? Art of war style, conduct yourself in a way where even your supposed enemies respect it. And if you understand your enemy ceases to be your enemy. Hello. Time to get with the proper pimping. Proper instruction motivates people. This ain't about selling pussy. You motherfuckers been hoed out for too long. I'm trying to stop that, not create that. Because, they get confused, a lot of these folks who go, pimping what? What? You're over here projecting and promoting selling body parts and human trafficking? No, it's a tongue-in-cheek. It's a test. It's a challenge. It's a trigger. It's a dualistic dynamic, reflective dynamic, right? Because the whole world is pimping and hoeing. You just don't know it. Keep them in the dark and feed them bullshit like mushrooms. And that's why they got no true power and value. Then they genuflect to the false power and value. Well, I do everything I'm told, and I got a bunch of money, and as long as I pay my slave tax, look at my house. Look at my gold-digging hoe. Look at my son who doesn't know any better because I haven't shown him any better. Yeah, tell me about it. The things you own you. You don't even own them because you got licenses, registrations, insurance, all of it tied to a bank, all of it tied to a person, all of it tied to a number, all of it not actually owned by you. You don't have anything at this point, actually. You may be in possession of it, you may use it, but you don't own it. And what do you think happens when you profit in the world as you think, but you lose your soul? Well, we can go back to the scriptures for that. This is archetypal shit. You are incarnated in a holographic reality where you get to choose. And what looks like physicality is not as real as it seems. What looks like nothingness might be more real than physicality. Because, there's been a half a dozen folks in here already today. So you're crazy. The drugs got you. You're insane. I'm doing pretty good yapping for an insane person who the drugs got their brain. Now, off the fly, off the cuff, I'm doing pretty damn good at court, too, for a drug addict whose drugs got his brain, who's Dunning-Krugered out, right? Should we check the record? Men lie, women lie. The stats don't. Check the record. Someone called me a nigger today. Well, listen, I don't mind that. You want to? Yeah, great. So I'm a nigger. Yeah, you're right.
Well,
I was once on the field. I was once hoed up and slaved. Hold on a second, sir.
Okay.
I was once hoed up and slaved out, and now, just like the niggas, as you want to call them, who came up off the plantation and don't give a fuck about statute, policy, and code, we're riding on something bigger than that, regardless of where it goes. So I'm happy to be in a camp as a nigger. I don't mind it. Because the alternative is being an inauthentic corporate beta bitch like you in a white collar. Suck my dick in public now, just like the nigger I am. Go ahead, sir. You were saying?
That's not even what that means, though. If you look at some of the oldest dictionaries,
I know what it means. You know that I know what it means. I'm playing to the lowest common denominator.
Yeah,
I'm giving them what they want.
But it tripped me out too, though, to come to find out when you look at the oldest dictionaries, nigger actually means an original American Indian. Like, that trips me out. It's like, how do we go from that now to it being an offensive word? It just trips me out. It trips me out. I don't know how else to say it.
Listen, I'd rather be anything than an unauthentic corporate beta bitch statutory hoe. I don't mind. I'll go to court every day and say I'm from the nigger society. I'm outside. I don't look like I may look like some of you a little bit. That's debatable because they keep telling me I look black and everything else. So I really don't look like you. I don't walk like you, talk like you, dress like you, sound like you. I don't follow none of your fucking codes, and I don't want to be around you. So I must be a fucking nigger.
Well, I mean, you do got some albino features too. You got the red hair, okay? You got the red hair, and there's a lot of
strawberry
light-skinned
blonde,
black.
so it's not red.
Okay. Well, you got a lot of strawberry blonde Negroes out there that are white, okay? And that goes back to the Irish. That goes back to the Erie, Irish, right? So, yeah, it's pretty cool. I can see how some people would think that coming up out of you, but yeah.
Right, the Irish folks. I'm half Irish, half Italian. The Irish folks were the first ones here. They say brought over as slaves, indentured servants. Not the same. No, it's the same. They were in cages and all the rest of it. And they'll fact check it. It's not real. Okay, whatever. Tell me all about the white privilege. Tell me about everyone's family didn't come over here on a boat with fucking diseases, limping on crutches because they had no insurance or anything else, eating potatoes and coming up in the world over the course of 20 fucking years, making a name for themselves, just like every other immigrant. It's really not special. So anything other than you waspy, United Kingdom, State of Israel related corporatocracy, fascist status scum, I'll be that. Cage dwelling nigger, that's me. Straight from Ireland, straight from Italy, off the boat, just like a fucking slave, to get to work and try to be governed with codes. And I ain't having it.
For real. Well said.
Questions, comments, concerns from the chat, anybody? I haven't really been paying too much attention. Let's see. Nice to see you and Cameron together, Paul. No disrespect to Rasta. It's nice to see any folks together who are in some level of true communion with higher sense of self, values, and principles in the law of the land, isn't it? It feels good. Unlike when you see Decastrated and Brian from Low Impact Flicks and all the rest of these clowns you've seen me appear on, who you want to fucking vomit. You literally want to vomit on these people when they're around each other, snaking around, pretending to be polite and kind and nice and all the rest of it. People make me sick.
Yeah, but you won't come to my show, though.
I'll be coming over there, right? You're lucky I'm even on here ranting the way I am today. I got a heating pad on. I got oil over me. I got electrodes attached to me. I'm like the bionic man. And they still want me to yell and scream and rant more, right? I need to heal. My Dr. Pizer from chat yesterday said, I need to stop the anger. I need to heal. And here I am again, fiery with passion, and some will call rage, hating on everyone by pointing out the truth and what should be obvious. That's all too not obvious for the majority. And that's okay. The kingdom of heaven is few. The gate is narrow. I guess the majority of souls can't be saved here. We'll just reincarnate over and over again. The place needs someone to pimp on and break on and slave on, I guess. It would be kind of boring if it didn't have that. All right, let's go to the damn docket, and then I'm going to get up out of here at some point. Let's touch on it. It's been some days. It's been a day since we did an official docket. All right, I fucked this up is the quote. Video shows suburban police detaining the wrong person. Lawsuit central. Ghetto lottery.
You look at me and nobody else. You do what I say, you'll be okay. Real slow, come out of that car. You got that cover?
Got cover. I got. You got it.
Wait for me. Face away from me. Walk back to me. Real slow. Real slow. Real slow. Now move. Hands on your back. Right now. Well, I was ready for cut.
Tom, come up here.
You guys gotta be calm on that. We're gonna spend everything in the middle. We're gonna be safe.
Charlie, no rough.
All right, we got some folks showing up. I'm going to pause it. I'll get back to it, or I'll forget in my regular, what's been called ADHD-like style of broadcasting, mountain goating. John, it's always good to see you. I'd like you to show up here more, presuming you don't get addicted to this place like a lot of us. Notice I said us. And like some others, just completely waste your life and degrade and degenerate. I'm not there yet completely, but I'm wary about it. Real quick, John, just let me go to this and I'll circle back. Someone in chat is like continuing saying Slackot's godly. He's evidence of a godly man. I'm the devil because I'm disrespectful. Newsflash, where I come from, liars, cheaters, thieves, grifters, and Babylonian scum don't deserve respect. The fact that you think they do shows how much you accept less for yourself and have no actual condition of trust, equity, and faith. So let's go back to the scripture, because you want to quote scripture. The Christ had being said to the Babylonian scum, "Go away from me, I never knew you. We're not equally yoked." But you want to pretend that never happened. Like he got out some lotion and started rubbing it on their cracked feet, right? Here, let me help you out. I'm so loving. Ooh, you think I'll curry favor with God if I show you how loving I am? While you're lying, cheating, grifting, bad faith, dishonorable scum. No, he didn't do that. He said, "Go away from me, I never knew you." He wasn't angry neither. He just said, just understand we ain't equally yoked. That's under God with God's truth and the way we're walking. A coward don't get the same respect as a courageous man. What world you live in, boy? You live in some other world that I didn't come up in? Let's get really real with ourselves and each other. Great men are respected, and what makes greatness? Courage, trust, and equity, and faith. I got that. Jack Talcott don't have that. He has a fake ass brand that says live without fear while he lives his whole life in fear. See? Let's get really real with ourselves and each other. But hey, it would make sense if you go to the Tao. Let's go to the Tao. It's impartial. The majority mistake the false for the true and the true for the false. So it would make sense that a son of a devil who is a deceiver would be deceived and call someone who's somewhat walking a godly path, myself, the devil, and call a devilish deceiving scum a godly man. It makes perfect sense in inversion land if you don't think about it. Just like vaccines keep you safe, just like politicians keep you free, just like your churches keep you in touch with God. I can go on, but I don't think I need to. The majority, you'll never see what's true and what's right. You'll always see the reflection of what you want to be true and right, and it will always deceive you and undo you. You get really real with yourselves and each other, and with God, the God you say you serve. And show me and God how you serve it, by the way, other than projecting false claims onto your fellow countrymen. Go ahead, Mr. John. Good to see you. You're in pretty good spirits, I'm trusting.
How can you tell? I just stopped by to say hi to Cameron, actually. No, I'm only kidding. But I did want to say hi to Cameron for sure. Much respect, brother.
Much respect to you, Brother John.
I've heard about your fast, Paul. Congratulations, man. I hope it's going well for you.
Well, yeah, it seems that I'm healing a bit. I never went to get an official diagnosis, and I'm still re-diagnosing myself. So I'm thinking that I got a handle on what's actually going on. It was feeling like my lungs, and maybe there is a lung issue also going on. There's been a few different things going on, but I think I got it narrowed down. It seems that it's somewhat under control, and I have faith that whatever it is will heal if I just eat right and, get some exercise that's, good for what I'm thinking it is, and not eat like a disgusting pig and poison my body, and live somewhat peacefully, more peacefully than I have been, as you can see, as always, yelling and screaming on YouTube, and casting fire and brimstone.
Well, doesn't that relieve some of the frustration, all the yelling and screaming? You
would think so, but I tend to, for a while, think that you get your blood pressure up, so to speak. You get activated and animated. It's good here and there, maybe, or it's not a bad thing. But if you do it 2-3 hours a day, 7 days a week for hundreds of days straight, probably going to burn yourself out. Probably going to create some bodily dis-ease, right? So it may be a good intention, may be rooted in some kind of passion for truth and an orientation toward justice. But oftentimes the way that we do this and how often we do it may affect self as well as other selves, right? So, the passion, I look at it like a flame. It can serve, it can burn you up. Has to be, like most things, I'm sure, used in moderation, if at all, because ultimately, do I even really need to be passionate about the truth? The truth is the truth. It doesn't need to be defended or fought for. It's going to show itself one way or the other in the individual's life or on the macro scale. So if I truly care about others, well, I got to care about me first, which means if I'm going to come on here and talk truth or entertain, I got to keep some handle on how I'm doing that, right? And not just abuse or overly use my vessel to where it kind of backfires on me, if that makes sense.
No, it does. And it's important, but what you do with your time in between your time here, too. I mean, I don't know your life, so I can't comment, but, that time is important as well, to be passionate. about other
Yeah,
things.
I think it's a combination of things, right? It all feeds into each other. You know,
mind, spirit, body, all that stuff.
right. You got to eat right and be hydrated. I wasn't eating right for the longest time. I wasn't drinking as much water as I could. So yeah, I've had to do a complete overhaul, to just start to really care for my body.
Whatsoever.
You're part camel?
I drink tea and then Pepsi.
Great. And how's that working out? How's the Pepsi diet working out?
Probably not good for my teeth. I've been having issues with those, but otherwise, I have no issues.
Okay. Yet is the key word.
Well, dude, I'm hoping that God's taking me soon before those issues hit, man.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go. Man. I hate this place.
Well, I mean, you don't necessarily have to like what goes on in this place in order to understand the bigger purpose, and I guess find enjoyment, day to day, and certain, I guess simplicities, and the beauty, right? The good, the true, and the beautiful, as it's been said. So I don't like what goes on here, but I've recognized the will to live and the understanding that it's not all bad, and what is bad oftentimes works for us, not against us. And then at some point, I guess you gotta die. But I try to keep a philosophical and somewhat, I guess you could say, positive view on life as far as the silver lining.
Especially at your age. I mean, I'm at the point where I'm close to the end, I guess. So I'm hoping to come sooner than later, I guess. Just this is just me personally, dude. I just
right.
I don't
want you to throw away the rest of your life because you don't like what goes on here and have a dejected view about what life is or can be.
Yeah.
I understand though that as you age, you kind of start to prepare yourself for the inevitable transition.
And I don't have the energy and the strength to do what I would like to do in this world, to make it known, the truth known better than I do. It's well, I shouldn't say that. As long as I have a breath, I should be talking, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that you have it. You just don't want to use it potentially, and then it becomes something you lose it if you don't use it. Because again, it doesn't have to be screaming and yelling like I've been doing. As you can see, there's two sides to the coin. You could just make every act of your being, as they say, a quote unquote resolutionary act rather than revolutionary act, in which case the strength you're going to need to have is courage, right? For folks who say, well, I'm preparing to die or I don't like this place or whatever, well, it should be very easy for you then to just buck all the statutes, policies, and codes and prove some concepts about law here or go to a box. I mean,
well, I'm doing both. I'm doing both. I'm just, yeah, I don't know.
That should give you some excitement, I would think, some interest, some purpose, some renewed excitement, interest, and purpose that, hey.
Yeah, I get excited every time I'm on the road.
Yeah. So I think the more you live into that, it's kind of like a drug, right? You're going toward the word of truth and the law of the land and rights, freedom, principles, spiritual faith. I think the more you get addicted to that, the more excited and interested you get. And you're never really regretful, no matter how it turns out, because you know why you're doing it and you know that it matters and you know that because few others are doing it, it's important that we continue, because if not, what else is this? Like, what else? You're just witnessing, just experiencing. Okay.
Yeah, you and I get to converse and we listen to each other, but the people that need to listen to us don't listen to us. That's the issue, with local government or, macro government. They don't listen to anything we have to say. They just go ahead and do what they're going to do, and that's it.
Yeah, they do that because, again, it's cause and effect related. If you act like a slave, preponderance of folks for the last 100 years, then they're like, what are you talking about? This is the way everything goes here, right? It's the same way if you walk into a prison and everyone who's been in there has been a kept pet slave till they're not, right? Then they go, well, this is the way it's always done here. And it's like, yeah, but I'm not going to do that. And I'm doing my time here for the next however many days. So let's not play this game. Let's work on the fly here on respect, trust, equity, and faith. So I've been to jails where they go, this is how we do it here. I go, yeah, well, watch this. I'm going to go talk to whoever runs this place, and we're going to work in trust, equity, and faith, because I shouldn't even be here, and I'm going to sue your bitch ass when I get out of here. So if I were you, I'd be as trusting and equitable and faithful from the time being and do what's right. Maybe you'll be able to have a reprieve in your life and redeem yourself, and usually If you have any kind of good sense and good nature in you, you get on board with that somewhere along the line, somewhere along the process. And then shit rolls downhill, as they say. Let me address this guy. I get so angry sometimes, my chest hurts bad, and that just pisses me off more. How do I stop being so freaking mad? Practice acceptance. Doesn't mean you have to tolerate, but you can practice just letting go and accepting that whatever it is, and you can't change it. So by accepting you can't change it, you change it. Right? It's one of those paradoxes. Instead of like, oh, it's got to be this way. Oh, this shouldn't be this way. The more you go into what you want and don't want, instead of just accepting what is and working with that or leaving it alone, the more you're going to find yourself in resistance. And you're going to be grinding your gears. So, yeah, I mean, I can only talk about what I know about what I attempt to practice. And I mean, you've seen it here. I've been very engaged with certain folks. Then there's a time where they don't stop engaging with me and I just accept. I go, you guys are who and what you are. I can have my perspective on it, but I can't change it, nor do I really want to at this point. You don't want me to anyway. Why would I grind my gears in resistance? I can just flow off this way, So that's just how I kind of see it. Now, you also have to be aware of your own deviance and your own games. You like to play into things and act out like we all do. We're all performers, whether we realize it or not. Look at how most relationships are done. It's one big performance, on a subconscious level, if not conscious level.
Ain't that the truth?
Just like government is, just like courting is. So that's why they call it state actors. It's not a coincidence. We're all players on the world stage, either consciously or subconsciously. You got a lot of folks running around pretending to be something, actually acting. So the more we just stop playing the game and just accept what is and work from that space, the less there's resistance, right? There's just what I'm going to do and not do, what it's going to be and not be. Surrender the rest in faith. What were we saying, John?
I said you're absolutely right. It's just a bunch of roles out there. Prosecutors, defenders, judges. They're all playing roles. And they're all taught these roles through an education system that's not teaching them the proper way things are supposed to be done. So, and we have to show up as their chattel or whatever.
Yeah, but it's still part of the game, right? Okay, slave, get on the X, line 1, scene 3.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I actually have the role of, free man in this one. Oh, really? One of those? Yeah, I got that script. And we're going to see how that goes. We're going to play that out. I mean, what else is everyone doing here? You get to a certain point in doing this, you go, what else is everyone doing here? I don't really see the point. It's just some purgatorial sort of neutral fence riding existence where you never get in the arena, you never become part of the bigger game except on the slave side. And I'm not saying you got to play slave master either. It's two sides of the same delusion. It's just like, who and what you are or who and what you want to be, and then you reject that to go along with what you believe is the only thing that there is. And then you get little peeks through the veil with folks like me and you scream out, why is he free? Because I didn't accept slavery as my only choice and fate here. So, believe it or not, all of us are a piece of or connected to God. And when a piece of God decides it's no longer going to be a slave, it may take some time, but guess what? Something's going to happen. I'm pretty sure the Christed being in scripture was a story of that reflective dynamic. It only takes one to say, well, you all can accept all this for yourselves. I'm not. And then watch what happens. This is, again, archetypal stuff. So you can call me crazy and all the rest of it. I'm activated. I'm in alignment. I have true purpose. I'm actualized and realized. You can't pay to get what I have. And that's what everyone else, I would believe, would need here. Because the alternative is you're going to keep pointing the shit outside of yourself and outside of what you're doing and being and going, look at what I have, till they take it from you. They can't take what I got. They can't buy what I got, and they can't take what I got. I can only give that away. And the way that I bought it is through actual experience. That's the only way you could get it. Like anything that's real and true. The experience, like saying, well, I'm not going to go there. I'm being nice today. I was going to trigger a little bit. I was going to say, it's like saying, how do you get good at fucking? Well, you got to either get fucked or do some fucking. You don't get to watch porn and become a good fucker. But see, I didn't want to go there. It's a family broadcast. I'm being sweet lately. I'm being nice, kind, and polite. Let's not invoke that. The white people don't like that. They're very put off by like private affairs. There's such public people now. They're just constantly in the public that you talk like certain private affairs or like certain aspects of self, and they act like they don't do it. They're not involved in it. You can't talk about it, or you're grotesque. You know? But it's like riding a bike. How about that? Like riding a bike. You gotta get good at it through experience. The same way with living life. And what is a man's life if he's not free and empowered and inspired on some level?
But when you're on that bike, there's a clear path to where you want to go if you have a sense of where you want to go. In life, there's no clear path to get to where I want to go here. It seems like this place is set up to work against those that are doing good and support those that are doing evil. That's what it appears to me.
I think this place is set up to support anybody doing something with any kind of regularity and repetition and conviction. So if you have a conviction and you're willing to do evil all day, every day, forever, it's going to reward you to some degree. And you're going to get tested and challenged to other degrees. If you show up every day and you do what you believe is true and what's right, and you put your heart to something, you're going to get rewarded in certain ways. You're going to get challenged in other ways. I think it's actually pretty fair and equitable. It's just that most people don't show up to do what's true and what's right day in and day out for years on end, decades on end. They are willing to show up and half-ass it and be a clowned out slave and give everything that they are away to a system to turn them up and spit them out and suck them dry by the end of it.
Dude,
so,
I went to exchange 4 sets of guitar strings still in the package, not used, just for a different size. These were size 12 diameters. I wanted 11s. Went to Guitar Center to exchange them, and the manager said no. I purchased them there. I don't get it. He said I was beyond the 45-day return period, and I offered to give him 4 packages for 2 of the others, and he still said no. I mean, is that good customer relations? Am I just living too much in the past, or what? Because
you're still living in a world where there was a direct relationship between the owner of the place and the customer. So with the, I guess, proliferation of big business and the corporatocracy and fascism and statism, policy and code running everything, the direct connection between what's true and what's right, and therefore the customer, is gone. Right? It's like you lose trust, equity, and faith in selves. You lose it everywhere. So
you can look at a computer and see that I've been going there for years. I mean, I purchased a lot of stuff there, spent a lot of money there.
Right, but John, what are you doing to solve the problem? Did you open a music store and stock it and then run it properly? Or are you just going to complain about all the other losers who decided to do that? See, the losers decided to open a shitty music store and do horrible customer service, and they're being rewarded because you're choosing to complain and do nothing about it. Now, this same thing applies to everything in life, right?
I did complain to corporate.
They don't give a fuck.
I know.
Because guess what? It's like either monopoly or they're just going to find a different way to access the customer. Just like the customer can find a different way to access their products and services. If I go to a place and they don't want to do customer service, I just don't go there anymore. And I tell everyone else not to go there if I have to.
That's going to be the result.
Right, but guess what? 90% of people don't give a fuck because there's either a monopoly and they're not willing to go out of their way. So, hey, it's on the way home. Who cares if I get fucked every time I go in there? It's on the way home. It's easy. It's convenient. They won't go out of their way 10 minutes to support what's powerful and valuable. Right?
And I have a good relationship with the luthier there, so that's going to suck. But
are you a ghost hunter? It's interesting that you asked that. It's actually very interesting because I've had a resurgence over the past few months of cryptid encounters. I used to look at these things. I've been kind of a student or just an experiencer of all the sort of lesser known or talked about phenomena. Legal, lawful rights and freedom, and God is just one of them. Not religion. Let's make the distinction. But lately I've been on this Bigfoot thing, right? As crazy as it sounds, because there's a whole bunch of folks who, because I'm going to Oregon, they're saying that there's this creature that lives on Oregon and other places. And it's like irrefutable, right? Everybody who lives these places, a lot of them see it. They know someone who's seen it. It goes back to the tribes. They claim it's there. And these people tell some pretty convincing stories, right? So like, you know, this may be a way to keep me from ending up suicidal like John here today. You know, like my brain goes, hey, Paul, get into some Bigfoot. Since you're like a gorilla now and they're saying Bigfoot's there and you're going to be over there, maybe it'll give you something to do. Go searching for Bigfoot, find it, and then that'll be your content arc. You know, like you never know, man. God might be preparing me to be one of those guys. You know, that'll be the next career arc. I'll be like Paulie Bell, coast to coast, and I can come on here and go, let's talk about the Bigfoot phenomena.
Being out in the woods in nature will be good for you anyways.
Right. It's a win-win. But I don't know if I want to go looking for this thing, because everyone who says they went looking for it and found it says they wish they hadn't. And then that also makes me want to see how I am. That addict in me goes, really? Everyone who wanted to see it doesn't want to see it anymore.
Yeah, but except for disappearances, there's been no reported like Bigfoot attacks as far
except
as
for disappearances. Oh,
well,
okay.
I don't know. But did Bigfoot make
except for the 20 people who wound up under John Wayne Gacy's basement floor, he's a pretty good guy. Baseball coach. He's has literary, scholastic achievements, from what I understand.
Ben Franklin too, in his basement, man. There was a lot of skeletons.
Right. So, I mean, I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I'm going to be out in the middle of nowhere pretty much anyway. So I may go rooting around with a camera to do some non-tent and see if we can find Bigfoot. If nothing else, it'll be an interesting time for me and the people. We'll get to know each other. Are you aware
of that real old topographical map? It was a government issue thing. I don't know if it was from the 50s or 40s, but showed the topography of the United States and the animals that are known in those locations, and they had Bigfoot listed on that as an actual living creature.
Yeah, again, I'm somebody, as you can probably tell, as much as I get the rap of being very egotistical, prideful, narcissistic, I'm fairly open-minded and hearted to what can be made sense out of, and it's not a leap to me to accept that these people are seeing some kind of I guess conglomerated creature, some kind of half man, half ape. I don't, you know, who knows? With when you see what's at the bottom of the ocean, it kind of opens your mind and heart to maybe there's a lot more things in this realm or on this planet than we are willing to accept or are able to conceive of. So, yeah, I mean, wouldn't surprise me necessarily.
So I can't say I know, but there's been so many reports that I can't say that it doesn't exist. So, you know.
Turns out in the dream, the Bigfoots were rich people and they were shapeshifters. Well, that's an interesting wrinkle, because some of these folks say they've witnessed the creature and that it can defy what seems to be gravity and certain laws of nature, that it is a shape-shifting creature. So it can turn into an orb. I mean, there's a lot of these. I've been going down the rabbit holes the last week or so, like an hour or two at night. I listen to some Bigfoot tales, and there's some similarities and correlations, and then there's some vast differences. Who knows what we're dealing with there? I may have to tackle this issue. You know, just imagine the white gorilla searches for Bigfoot. You know, season 1, and it's just me huffing and puffing, trudging around.
But what's going to make
very short trip, by the way. If I'm on foot, it's going to be a very short trip, John. We're going half a mile off into the tree line at best. Half a mile over the next 4 hours to find Bigfoot. If not, we're taking it back in. Taking it on in.
Just take a tent with you, go half a mile a day.
Right. They couldn't recruit Paul, so they're trying to strap them down and taint his blood. Sounds silly, but it was a spooky dream. Oh, let's listen to this guy. He's having dreams that he's already, this is crazy. He's having synchronistic dreams that Bigfoot's there and it's shape-shifting and people are strapping me down and you know, relax. Okay. Odds are I want to believe I'm not that important. In the sense of, well, you never know, I guess. But let's not go there. Let's not go all the way to that. All right. Relatively, I've been left alone. You know, I don't think I've been targeted too bad. If I have, I've kind of gotten past it. So they've gotten over it. The targeters may have recognized that I'm not really a bad man. I'm not trying to overthrow any of their business endeavors. I'm just going to do what I'm going to do with a small contingent of folks. We're going to get results, be better off for it, and everyone else is going to get slaved. So I don't think if you don't challenge these people, like beyond a certain point, whoever the they is, and you don't make an enemy out of them and you don't try to overtake what they're doing, you're not really a problem. If anything, they're kind of inspired by you. They may want to keep you around a while to play with. Who knows? I guess we'll find out. If I go looking for the Bigfoot and the rich people got me and they strap me down and give me the what was that guy's Ned Valenko? What was the guy from Russia that they gave the fucking sauce to? You know, they're gonna Bob Marley me, right? Lucky for you guys, I'm not constantly yelling about love like Bob Marley and Jack. That seems to really set them off. You know, when you're smoking dope and you're like fucking 10 bitches and have 8 baby mamas and you keep talking about love, they can't stand that. So I'm not doing any of that. I'm thinking I'll be okay.
It would be awesome seeing you'd be the one to just get actual evidence of Bigfoot or walk hand in hand out of the woods with them.
Yeah, and they'll tell me I lied, I faked it, I tried.
You know that's going to happen.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, I already know what I'm getting myself into. That would be the, again, this is what I do, whatever this is for, and other things. Partially, there's multiple reasons, but one of them is to dive into certain things that we hear about to prove the concept or not, is it true or not, and then watch 90% of people say, I'm a liar, I'm a grifter, I'm a fake, while the liars, grifters, and fakes run their life. Right? That's what gets me off, and I'm a sadomasochist. I go, watch me find Bigfoot now, and I could get clear video of it, and the slaves will still beat me and whip me because I'm a bad man. Right? I dared to prove a concept of something that maybe is like on the periphery of our experience, right? Whether it's legal, lawful, whatever it is, they'll do this. They'll give you the same treatment. And then it's just more verification. There's way more to this world and life than we think there is and what we're told. And the more you find out about it and learn about it, the more you're going to be rejected by the whole, right? It's a fun game if you let it be that, you know, because there's always going to be, a small contingent of folks who have the same experiences, who we bond together. That's going to be my community. So whether it's legal, lawful, rights and freedom, spiritual faith, Bigfoot, I'm cool with that.
It's weird hearing you throw Bigfoot out there.
Well, I was listening to this, and these people are very convincing. I'm not really easily manipulated. I'm pretty good at body language and tone. A lot of these people are telling very convincing stories with like similar details to people they don't know, and they seem scared and like they're reacting a certain way. They're not. Doesn't seem like they're bullshitting. So either they're all delusional and seeing something else, or it's really there and it's happening, and we just don't want to accept it or believe it. There's no difference. This is how life is, how crazy it is. By doing legal lawful and getting surprising results for myself that I can't even believe on some level, I'm now opening up to everything. Isn't that how God works? I'm going, maybe Bigfoot's fucking real. Because all these people are running around constantly talking about it, how interesting and powerful and valuable this experience is. And the majority are like, you're crazy. It's not real. They did that to me with the court, and it's on record. Well, dude, they're doing it with shit I can prove.
For how many years did they make people who said they saw UFOs sound crazy? And now they want everybody to believe in UFOs, you know?
This guy just ejaculated all over his screen. You believe this, John? I'm already getting them excited just with big.
Disgusting.
You are disgusting. You little mongrel. Stop ejaculating on your screen. Your mom's going to have to clean that off later. I love when I get John to make guttural, disgusted noises. That's what I do this for. Another reason
I don't see that adding any value to the program.
Oh, please. I do what I want here. Adding value. Come on, John. You really buying that? Paulie's doing value and power? Yeah, right. You know what this is. It's a freak show. It's an asylum. Complete expose of my horrible character. Let it be that, John, okay? I would thought you know better. If you want love and peace, you know where to get it. I'm not even going to say the name. Down the hall and to the left.
Do you have any opinion on the drones or the fog? Did you give that any interest at all?
Oh, you mean like when the drones all came up over the coastline and Donnie's like, Joe Biden knows what this is. And then the next day, 12 states had toxic fog that they then wrote off to winter fog. They go, what do you mean? It's winter. There's always fog. And everyone's like coughing and bleeding from the lungs and dying. They're all doing live streams. Like, yeah, they'll fucking do anything and they'll tell you anything. And the slaves will repeat anything. Majority of them. You know, we know how this goes. Should I pull up you know what? This is just reminded me. I have it here somewhere. I got to show you this video of they're claiming SpaceX landing back in the pod. And it's obviously AI faked. And everyone's there's no one there clapping, but like the people watching are like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is the best technology ever. And it's like, this is obviously computer generated footage. I don't know what to say anymore. I've just settled into, let's just enjoy the stupidity of the public. Let's just not be them. And let's enjoy how they'll never listen and they'll never be able to see, because I don't know what else to do with it. Can't help them. All right, where is it? I put it up here the other day and I forgot about it. And that's why I do that. It's for times like this. Call back. All right, you know what? I'll look it up because I can't seem to find it. Anybody seen this? Anybody in chat seen this garbage yet?
Was it a recent thing?
Fairly recent. I got to make sure I get the right one. SpaceX rocket landing. I think this might be okay. Tell me if this is not it, then my apologies. Tell me if I'm crazy here. Is this really happening? Is this a real thing?
We're gonna ignite 13 of those Raptor engines, and this view is incredible right now. You can see how
that's real.
Is moving.
That's a real video of a rocket landing right there. The flames going through the thing. Am I missing something? Is that not completely computer generated? That's one of them right there. That's not even, I don't think, the one that I saw, but is that not, am I?
No.
Is that not an AI generate? Of course it's real. Okay. All right. Well, that puts that to bed. So you're not really too good with like gravity, and 9/11 proved this. Most of you not too good with thermodynamics, gravity, physics, like anything that requires any kind of, I guess, intelligence or just common sense. So can we look at that again? Because it's like, could not be to me any faker looking, if that's even a word. Like rockets don't move like that. When there's fire coming out the back, they don't just turn like that, and it just doesn't. And then they cut to that. And they cut to that imagery from that. Like, is there? Are you not seeing
engines? You can see those chopsticks now.
Right, and then all of a sudden it's there. Oh, there it is. And then there's a bunch of Asians screaming in the background. I don't know. And let's not forget. Okay, and just to remind folks of why maybe I'm saying this, I'm going to show you a past video. Elon's convertible in space. Get a load of this one. Okay. And then wonder why I'm saying maybe this isn't the realest thing ever. And he famously said, you can tell it's real because it looks so fake. Right. I'm totally into doing mockery, humiliation rituals on the slaves. Oh, there it is. There's the convertible. And that's obviously Earth, of course, because it's round and it's blue. And there's the convertible with the guy in it. And they're in space. And they're riding it. And they're doing some kind of like figure 8 maneuver, some kind of circle. That's obviously Earth. It's round. It's blue. Oh, there it is.
What a flyby, huh?
Yeah. And that's conclusive proof right there for the average stupid fucking slave. Right. And then they even started making the rounds of the car with a green screen and an actual pulley system that they showed was what was actually going on, and no one got it. No one cared. No one got it. It's you don't need that because it's obviously faked green screen AI garbage. And any kind of not untrained eye who's not completely dupable can tell that's fake. And that's why Elon said you can tell it's real because it's so fake, while he's giggling and laughing because he knows it's bullshit. And he loves to mock you slaves, just like with that rocket landing footage. Should I show you the one from Korea, by the way?
Do they do that? Great. See how stupid we really are? If they accept,
well, that's the point. This is all one big mockery, humiliation ritual. Where they show how stupid this like this. This is one of them. Didn't even see this, but right off the bat, they're saying this is a rover on Mars. Okay. Have you guys, we've only been to one planet, I think most of us. Have you ever been to a planet where there's no background? There's no mountains, there's no hills, there's no background. It's just a flat, sandy plain and a little cart riding along the top, right? We're going back to 1960s colored moon landing footage, and the slaves will buy it. And they'll go, oh, like Speed Racer, the Asians, oh, look at that. They get shocked. Oh, we're on Mars now. Look at the technology. No, you just got duped. You just got punked again, right? Show us another planet with no hills, no mountains, no backgrounds, with the lowest possible angle to hide whatever's behind it, right? There it is. There's the Mars land. Oh, what's this? We don't know what that is. What is that? Some kind of rectal exam, maybe. We just went right from Mars to Elon's rectal exam. No, let me show it again. This is from The Guardian, official footage of rover on Mars. There it is. That's obviously Mars because it's like tan background.
It's got to be Mars.
Sandy. Totally not the desert somewhere, or in some kind of studio sandbox. No,
it's got that red tint. It's got that red tint.
Yeah, you saw it. See, John's like he's like a walking planetarium. He's like an astrologist. He knows that Mars has a red atmosphere, right? And that's proof that we were on Mars right there.
Can't be denied.
There's one that's even like 10 times more ridiculous. I can't even find it right now, but this can't even be it because it's just so fake. I can't even believe they're saying they're pulling this off. Can someone find that? Oh, is this it? Oh, that one's animations. There's one of them that's a clear animation that they try to sell is the Asians in the studio actually landing the rover on Mars. Forget if it's Korea or China. It would make sense it would be China, but I think it might have been South Korea. I don't know. Maybe I'll look for it later.
I wish all this was true, and I'd like to see them actually try doing something like that.
Probe named Schiaparelli separated from an unmanned craft.
Yeah, they had a video that was like, it was pretty much like this thing, and it was just like showing it landing on Mars.
Once on the surface, it will take images of Mars.
I'm like, that's a cartoon.
Scientific measurements, but
they were saying it like it was actual news.
European Mars.
Can't find it now. Of course, I should have did some fucking. Oh, is this it? This is it. The exploratory rover with all the symbols they put up first.
2.
Big ass rocket. Yeah, it was like this, John. Pretty much. It was like they were showing videos like this and going, "We're on Mars now. This is actual footage," and it's just like some Unreal Engine for some video game that they're using. India, right? It was India. Okay, I think Damselmatic is onto something.
And the camera work is so good all the time. Everything's centered. From how many miles away is Mars? 70 million or something like that? As they say.
Oh, this is the moon surface. India lunar rolling on moon surface. There it is. That's the moon. We can never seem to get a full shot of any planet. It's the weirdest thing.
No, and then what about that picture of the astronauts with their helmets off?
Just a zero gravity vacuum. They're just, you can't even like open the window when you're in a plane and they're in space supposedly. Just like
and that's like I keep hearing people fight about if the world's round or if the Earth's round or flat. Like, who fucking cares? Like, who cares? What? Like, we don't even know what's in the ocean, and we don't even know what's above us. And
we don't know anything.
No, we don't. And to focus on something that no one will ever really probably have proof of, I think it's funny.
No, this is it. They're claiming that this is a Mars rover landing. They're saying that this is footage of it. This is how ridiculous it is. Can someone? I want someone to do their due diligence, pull up the one where the news is saying it's actual footage, and email it to me, because I know one of you know what I'm talking about, and you're gonna find it. And it's like, this is what they were showing at some Asian laboratory with a bunch of people in coats, claiming to be some kind of, planetary explorers, and they're showing footage of obvious cartoons landing on planets.
Have they ever shown footage of them practicing this here on Earth, doing that exact same maneuver here on Earth to make sure it works? So they don't test this stuff. They just, do some calculations on paper.
Come on, please. Slaves are a dime a dozen. We don't have to test it. We send them up. If it goes bad, we put 12 more in the fucking craft. What are you talking about?
I have a question, Paul.
Rasta just volunteered to go on the next space flight. See how easy that was? Get him in there.
So here we have cell phones, and they drop all the time. But these motherfuckers are in on the moon, and they're just talking clear. Hey, how you doing? Great. You know what I mean? It's like, what the? I don't know.
Did you see this one where this was confirmed? I believe green screen as well. They claimed a guy jumped from space.
Oh yeah,
just more green screen background and underneath, and he's jumping off some platform.
No, I think that was an actual jump.
Oh yeah,
I think so.
I can't say for certain. Let's show the concern. We're at 20,000 feet. It's obviously the Earth. I mean, it is shaking. They totally couldn't fake that.
I don't remember seeing that footage.
Yeah, look how concerned everyone is.
Is that the Red Bull jump?
Yeah, Felix Baumgartner.
Felix Baumgartner, yeah.
He drank a Red Bull right before he did this. By his wings.
I think he only landed like a quarter mile from where he was, and he should have been, many miles away if the Earth was spinning underneath him.
There he is. Just like the car. He was in the car before.
That doesn't look real at all.
No, John, stop it. You just said Felix really did it. He jumped from the moon. He did a jump from the moon and flew back into Earth. Yeah. Jumped off the moon and flew into Earth.
What do you guys think about that telescope? That I think it's pretty sick. I don't know if it's true or not, but the pictures sometimes it shows is really cool.
Yeah, we can't figure out how they say space has no gravity, but he's just flying toward the Earth. We don't know how that works. Doesn't matter.
Thing is gravity.
Let's argue for the next 3 years, like some others do, about the shape of the Earth and whether some pack of beta males actually went to Antarctica and saw the 24-hour sun. Anyone up for that for the next 2 to 3 years?
No, man. People have been talking about that too much.
Oh,
no,
yeah. Wow. They have nothing else to talk about and do, I guess. It's not like slavery and genocide's afoot or anything crazy, Take a convertible ride through space. Why not? All right. I'm not even going to continue that cop video from before. I got another.
That was a good one.
30 cops get owned. Walk.
I saw that. That was good. That cop is fucked up, man.
What? The one where he detained a deaf kid?
No, the one where he pulled the wrong car over, wrong plate number, and all that shit. The one you were showing when I first came.
You want me to finish it, John?
That's up to you, man. This is your.
All right, I'll finish it. John wants me to finish it.
Hey, Tom, I don't think this is the right car.
I don't think this is the right car.
That's not the right car.
I mean, why do they even care? The guy's black. We do this all day, every day. No, am I missing something?
This is the wrong car. Yes, it is.
What fucking morons!
Check him for crack cocaine while he's there.
It wasn't the right
model. John, please, I'm doing police work. Check this black guy for crack cocaine. There's got to be some in there on the floorboards.
Yep.
Check good.
Put the window down. 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 Put both of your hands out the window right now. Put both of your hands out the window.
I got command.
Go ahead.
You, with an outside hand, reach out, open the door. Watch your crossfire. Okay, real slow, left hand, do it from the inside. Out with a gun, we are going to end you. Do you understand?
Wow.
There you go, come on out. I gotta put the time, son. Put it in park, real slow. Everything real slow.
I'm gonna shoot you in your head if you come up with anything other than that.
Real slow.
Good to get other black people to shoot the black people. It makes the lawsuit a lot easier.
Shut off that siren.
Get out there, Rodney. We got some work to do.
Your body, undo your seatbelt. nobody else, you do what I say, you'll be okay. Real slow.
I wonder if he says that to his wife like that. You look at me, no one else, and you do what I say, and you will have an orgasm. I'm tired of this faking it thing.
Walk back to me, real slow. Real slow. Real slow. Now move.
This is like foreplay to an officer.
I wonder how many times.
Real slow. Look only at me, and you will have an actual orgasm this time. Right, honey? Kind of hard.
You guys gotta be down on that. We're gonna explain everything in a minute, but we're gonna do it safe.
I was shocked he put it back in his pocket.
Oh, that's for now. We're on camera, John. Don't be silly. You know, on the ride over, maybe the camera kind of goes off. We get to the back room, and, you know, maybe half that wad goes away.
Have a seat.
I got some more questions. What's a black guy doing with money anyhow? Huh? Am I right? This guy's got to be up to something.
Don't explain what's going on. Don't ask him no questions. Good? Gotcha. All right, yeah. No, interview room. Put him by my office. All right. Sam 20. We're out to the PD 1 mil 95, starting mileage 106972. Take him out. Wrong car. Take him out. Wrong car. Hop on, man. Place the car. This is you. We're taking out of handcuffs. We're getting you going. Okay, I'm going to give you some.
They skipped a spot because there was a spot where that cop was really pissed and wouldn't even admit that it was the wrong car.
Oswego PD had a shooting. Car plates. The car is the same as yours. Plates match with. Wait, hold on.
Except for the different numbers.
No. Look at me. Look at me.
No.
Plates match.
Different model. Different color.
Right. That's why you're placing handcuffs. We thought you were the guy. No, all right. You're not. I understand that. All right. Hey, listen. Look at me. I this up. Okay. Understand that? I'm gonna give you my card. This is on me.
Absolutely.
Absolutely on me. Let's clear these roads.
Y'all threatening to shoot me in the head and shit. Don't move. Put your hands up. Like,
you're right.
This is ridiculous.
Okay. Well, listen.
This is ridiculous. I've been out here for 15 years and never have I once in my life. My man, nothing, dude.
You have to look at it.
My man, nothing, dude.
I like this guy.
He's got every right.
That's unacceptable.
You are absolutely
especially right. You, Harvey. Especially you.
Okay. All right.
What's your name? My name is Derek House, man. I've been out here. I lived in Woodridge for 10. I've been in Downers Grove for 3, man. I'm a upstanding citizen. My kids go to school here. I'm well respected. That's wrong.
You're right. You're right.
You don't do that. You don't do that.
Anything else you want to say to me or needs to be? No, for sure. This was my first. Fine. You're right.
Well, he just won the ghetto lottery.
The only thing he did wrong is by admitting he was a citizen. That always drives me nuts. I'm an upstanding citizen.
I follow all policy and codes. I pay the corporation to rule me / keep me safe. And this is usually how it turns out. Well, he was really safe right there, you could argue. I mean, no one could get to him. Like, let's say he had some enemies and they wanted to come stab him or something. They're not going to get to him inside a police car while he's in handcuffs. He's about as safe as you could possibly get there for a good 15 minutes. So if I'm the attorney, I argue, what's the problem? Everyone has a contract for us to keep them safe, huh? Can't get any more safe than that. All right, case closed. Let's go to lunch. You want to do Thai today, John?
Thai?
Good South Korean place where we can watch a moon landing. Allegedly. Nothing? Okay, let's move on.
I didn't know if that was a serious question or not.
We're going to lunch. I got a cop here, John. I got another dirty cop. Somebody better rinse him off. Get owned and walk of shame. ID refusal. First Amendment.
So you're recording people's personal information.
I never said that. You said that. You don't got to be all freaked out at me or nothing. I know I'm kind of ugly, but
you know, creeped out. We have concerned citizens that work in parts of this building that are concerned about your actions.
Oh, taking pictures?
They are absolutely creeped out by what you're doing right now. It goes back to ill intent. And it feels like you have very ill intent, but nobody knows what.
Man.
Do you have your ID?
Hold on, time out.
That's all we're asking is your ID. Time out. Do you have your ID? Time out. Do you have your ID? Time out. Time out. Do you have your ID? Hold on, let me.
Contact him.
We believe that he is extremely creepy, and what he is doing is a horrible thing.
Welcome back to Cops. ID refusal. Today, we're diving into the wild world.
All right, I don't want the intro. I just want the video. Thank you.
Shots of what?
Just everything here.
Everything?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a police station.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
That's why I'm here.
Do you have any questions?
Is everything Adams County just closed? Like I can't enter any lobby or anything, or what's up with that?
What do you need in the lobby for?
No, I want to check it out. That's the main thing.
For what?
Just check it out.
It's kind of odd, right?
I don't think so. Hello. How are you? I'll get you on there too. Huh?
Recording people's personal information. Is that what you're trying to get at?
Personal information?
Yeah, license plates, personal cars.
That's not the goal, bro.
What is your goal?
Just to take pictures.
Of people's personal property and license plates?
No, of everything. Anything I could see from a public spot.
Okay, so you're going in to record personal secure information?
No.
That's what you're doing. That's why I'm asking.
Oh, no. What do you mean? I'm just taking pictures.
Of people's personal cars, license plates?
No. I'm just taking pictures for here. And plus I can, yeah. But that's not what I was doing.
So you're recording people's personal information?
I never said that. You said that.
No, you are. That's what you just said. You can't do
I'm
that.
taking pictures of anything I can see from a public spot.
Okay.
That's it, man. You don't gotta be, you don't gotta be all freaked out at me or nothing. I know I'm kind of ugly, but
you know. You creeped out? Do you feel like I'm creeping you out, or
no? The other way, like I'm creeping you out. That's why you're out here.
Oh no, we have concerned citizens that work in parts of this building that are concerned about your actions.
Certain slaves.
Taking pictures?
They are absolutely creeped out by what you're doing right now.
Oh.
Absolutely.
Well, they shouldn't be little babies. You know, they shouldn't be babies about it.
About
doing nothing wrong.
Pictures of them and
walking to their cars and stuff. No, walking anyone's cars. This is a restricted area right here. Not going past it.
Right, you're just.
Nor will I.
That's your thing is to record people?
Yeah, I like
Let's
recording.
Come off that way, absolutely.
Okay. I'm not doing nothing wrong, man. And I'm not here for any ill intent.
It does seem like you are here for ill intent. That's
taking
exactly
pictures
what
is
all
an ill
they're
intent, man.
concerned about. A secured area where people work.
Yeah, this is. I can go anywhere in the pub. If this,
I'm not saying you can. I'm just saying you're asking why it appears to be creepy. I'm just explaining to you that you don't get it.
I mean, I understand that you could feel like
me,
maybe.
Everybody
Well, no,
else
I'm saying you as in you guys.
Those,
that your safety could be, you know, maybe it'll have some alarms and somebody's out here videotaping whatever. That's fine to make contact with me. I'm, you know, all about that. I'm not here to hurt you guys. Not here for anything.
Totally doesn't seem that way. Like that's what everybody's concerned about. Is you have.
Well, you guys should educate them a little bit. That
I don't know why you're doing it. Other than you want to give off that vibe. Like that is your intent, is to give off that vibe. And I'm not mad at you for it. That's how you get down. That's how you get down.
Yeah. No, I mean I support you guys too. So yeah.
You sure?
Yeah. I mean, don't. I just want to tell you guys something. If somebody has a camera, doesn't mean they hate you guys whatsoever.
Oh no,
I've worked
again,
with
it goes
police
back to
officers
ill
a lot.
intent, and it feels like you have very ill intent. But nobody knows why.
Man.
Then what are you? Why are you out here?
Just to take pictures. I'm working on a story.
In a secured area of.
Yeah, this is just part of it. I just got here, so I'm going to be doing everything here.
Female employees that was
female employees. Oh, well,
she thought you were taking pictures of her.
No, that's what you did. Again, you did take a recording of her. It's not having her grow up. That's
in
what
all
you did.
honesty, I don't even know what female you're talking about.
The one who came and complained about this?
Oh, she didn't even talk to me. I have no idea.
No, she didn't, because again, this is creepy, as you said.
Well,
according to her, it's creepy.
Oh, okay.
As you said, creeped her out. Creeps out a bunch of people.
Yeah.
But again, I guess you have every intention of doing that. That's the whole purpose of this, or do you have another purpose?
I'm doing a story on everything, man.
What everything?
Oh, this whole property right here. So I'm gonna go around the building, do everything. I just looked at that, your statue up there. Just got some fine details on there. That girl's even crying if you haven't seen it. I don't know. Haven't
you know who that is?
I have it on here. It's a sergeant. I don't know who it is, but it's. I'd have to go read it again. But yeah, that's just a sergeant. Huh?
You know what's going on in the world?
Yeah.
Right?
In this day and age.
Yeah. I love that question. That's one of my favorite canned like questions that the fool tries to ask, thinking they're about to make a point. They've done that to me a half a dozen times. They go, you know what kind of world we're in and what's going on these days? I know where they're going, which is terrorism. And I go, yeah, slavery and genocide's afoot, and fascism and statism.
Yeah.
Bingo. Not where you were wanting to go with this. Do you know what's going on in the world? Oh, right. I know. Terrorism, right? The only problem is the definition of terrorism for the CIA is when a group of people push their political ideologies onto the individual. Oops. That's what you're doing right now. You gotta love it.
After this,
oh,
do you think that the people that work here, right, especially us,
yeah,
the citizens that are aligned with us, are kind of concerned of what you're doing, right? Does that not stand out as suspicious?
Well,
so
if it is suspicious,
how can we help you so you can move along your way?
Oh, I'm not going to move on my way. I'm going to get my everything for the story done, then I'll be out of your hair.
What's your story?
Well, I'm not going to tell you guys that right now.
Well, honey, you asked. Same answer. Slavery, genocide, statism, and fascism is afoot. Bingo. That's why we're here. Thank you for being part of the content, or the content.
Everything's going to work out, you know. Yeah, you guys definitely. Oh, if I committed a crime?
No. Just the suspicious behavior that occurred here.
Is that
again the lady that
it's like this is literally every Nazi in Judea land, in the Judea land part of Germany, right? Like there's a part of Germany that used to be called Judea land. It was like one of those midget villages. I don't know if you ever seen one of those. They have these places where all the midgets live in one village, I guess, so everything can be built to scale, and they can kind of. I don't know how that works. I mean, they're little people, so I guess like I don't know any other community of people who group together. Like I've never seen a town of fat people. Is what I'm getting at. So I didn't know sizeism was a thing. Where was I going with this, John? I don't know. You guys never do it. That's why I do what I do, because I want to, because I'm a mental gymnastics type of person. I want to watch you watch me go from here to there and not know how we got there. It is rather interesting, isn't it? For me to like be doing and for you to be witnessing. I swear I was going somewhere with that.
Creeped out.
Yeah.
So we could have the right to just contact you, get your information, then we'll let you be on your way to do all your business.
I thought this is America, right?
Forget about that part.
What?
This is the part that you're gonna just twist around.
Oh, right. Judea land.
No,
that's right. I knew I'd remember if I just went back to it. There was a part of Germany that was called Judea land, and it was like a midget village. And at some point, things got crazy, not only on Judea land, but all of Germany. And some little person rose to power, started doing hand signs and getting real uppity. And then all of a sudden, like seemingly overnight, they created these brigades of folks who would like wear costumes and go around and just say, everyone's suspicious. Everyone who didn't just fucking like give them their own gold teeth and let them walk them off to showers that weren't actually showers. It's a whole story. We could get into it at some point. They would just go, you're suspicious. This is suspicious. Your whole family's suspicious. And then they kind of take you off at some point. You know, maybe they torture you a little bit. Well, not really torture. It's more of an enhanced interrogation is what the little guy would call it.
What if he was a good guy?
John, this didn't go well for Kanye West. It's not going to go well for you. We've said this here before, okay? What if he was the good guy? Here he goes.
I'm just saying.
What's next, John? It wasn't really 6 million.
I
you really want to drive this fucking channel into the ground, don't you?
There's just evidence to suggest that he was. I'm not saying he was or he wasn't. I'm just saying there's evidence to support both sides.
The evidence is a bunch of tards who wrote in a newspaper or in a memoir the same thing that if you... Okay, John, let me give you the example. This is going to be real quick and easy. They're doing it now, by the way. We don't have to go fast forward 25 years. But let's say some statist, fascist, lockdown slave just took power in the form of presidency. And let's just say like half the country thinks that he's a good guy and going to do great stuff. And let's just say we like expand world wars and do economic collapses and go into a greater depression and maybe even get a bunch of people locked up as political prisoner. Well, half the country is going to like choose to remember this time as the good guy was in power. And he was just doing what was necessary to get rid of all those leftist libtard Jews and politicos and other people to get this place great again. You know, we needed some powerful patriotic nationalism to get everything back to where it wasn't supposed to be going. You get my point, John? So that evidence you're talking about is created by tards who can't see past their own damn nose and their own program.
Evidence created by tards.
It's never a good person who creates brigades of people to go around and herd people into interrogation scenarios because we might have some suspicious Jews and leftists and centrists and maybe everyone who doesn't want to make the Fuhrer's people's land great again, right? John, don't fall into this crap. They're going to get you. John, this is why you're too white. I knew it. I was afraid of this. I knew you were a bit too white to be involved in what goes on here and that you would get caught up in the fury of the patriotism, the false patriotism.
I believe we all came from the black race. I believe the black race.
I'm moving on. John's now taking a complete left turn.
He's
one of these black... The Jews were real black Nazis. He's one of these people like up in the Bronx, or on Harlem, who just stands on the corner and goes, "We're the real Jews, and we're black, and we created the white race in a lab somewhere, and we're gonna rise to power again."
I don't know where us honkies came from, man.
John, you went completely off the reservation there, but I give you credit for that.
Throwing shit out there. That's all I do.
John, please, you're going to just throw shit out here and insult this audience and just fantasize and imagine things? I'm doing history here, pal. This is no place for nonsense. Get a clue. You guys do this on Slackcott's panel, too. He's trying to save the fucking world and talk truth. And you guys are just there to imagine stuff and getting your feelers. Cut it out, John. Let's take this serious, please. Kind of creepy too. This guy says it. This guy's saying you're creepy and suspicious, John. I didn't want to have to reveal it to you.
I didn't get one.
I like this guy.
You just said I'm not committing a crime. Therefore, I'm not getting ID.
Your suspicious behavior.
Is that a misdemeanor or felony?
ID that said you're out here recording.
Well, you guys aren't feeling police.
This might be. Are you stalking her?
Am I stalking? I don't even know what lady you're talking about, man.
Again, there's a lot of reasons why we have the ability to contact you right now.
Yeah.
And since nobody wants to pressure that.
No, you guys can contact me all you want. Do you guys have that obligation? It would be smart.
Yeah, we do. And we'll, if you like the statute that says we can absolutely get your information, that's all we're asking for. That's all we're asking for.
I know.
Is your ID,
but
so we can ID who you are.
There's one thing that you were missing.
Art, is there?
Yeah.
Right now?
And yes.
What's your name?
I'll tell you. I'll tell you what you're missing.
Your name?
No, I'll tell you what you're missing.
Your name?
A crime.
Your name?
You have to have reasonable, articulatable.
What he's saying is, I'm just being
Did I have
and
committed a
need
crime,
or
am committing a
or
crime,
might
or
be.
about to commit
Correct.
a crime.
And that's where we're at.
So what crime is that?
I don't know. Stalking.
Exactly.
Stalking?
You gotta have that.
How's stalking? How's stalking?
Stalking. Yeah, that sounds
harassment.
like you're fishing.
Harassment.
Sounds like you're fishing.
No, I just want your information so we can let you be on about your way.
You're not gonna get it, right?
We're not going to get your
I'll give
information.
you my ID.
That'd be perfect.
You
Thank
want
you.
ID?
That's all we need. ID. That'd be great.
Okay, I'm gonna reach in my pocket.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I gotta go over.
I know you do. You're doing a great job. Thank you so much.
God, these guys are so easy.
Oh, you got the big ID right here. Big ID.
Congratulations. Your story is great. You're doing a great job for your story.
You have any ID on you?
I do. I have ID on me.
Okay. I mean, it's not necessary.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I just got to ask.
Okay. I got my ID. Here's my I. And there's my D.
That works.
You're doing a great job for your story. You're doing an outstanding job. I know.
Okay.
I know. You're amazing.
Well, why are you guys out here bothering me?
Again, we got a call to contact you.
That's
from
perfectly
citizens
fair.
that would like to know exactly why you're recording them.
I'm doing a story. I don't know what citizen you're talking about. Are you talking about like the women up there?
You don't need to.
Well, I
the
have
ones that
to.
you're
That's
recording on
somebody
them
that
as well.
complained on me, so I need to know.
Again, you don't need to know their name.
Well, then you don't need to know mine.
I absolutely do. You're the one committing the suspicious behavior.
Is that a misdemeanor or a felony?
So, can we get your ID, please?
Absolutely not. Because I'm not committing a crime. I know my rights.
You could be committing a crime.
I could be, but am I?
Right. That's what we're investigating now. That's what we're investigating now.
You gotta try a little bit better.
That's what we're
I
investigating.
mean, I understand if I was out here, maybe if I went through a restricted area, you know. I know it kind of sucks, but you guys got to know that.
You talk a lot.
Well, let me tell you a couple things. You guys are law enforcement, correct?
And you're here
Not
to
feeling
harass law enforcement as well as anybody out here. No, if that's how you get down, that's how you get down.
That's ignorant. Come on.
It's impressive that you're trying to make your story. I got you.
Well, you guys are out here on me.
And yes, we got called to you.
Disgusting.
It wasn't like we came out here. We don't care. Until somebody who says
if you don't
that
care.
You're creepy.
So, okay, let's take that.
Does
what
that.
you just
So,
said.
somebody,
let's
which
pause,
part
time
do you
out.
want to take? Do you have your ID?
Hold on, time
That's
out.
all we're asking is your ID. Time out.
Time
Do you have your ID? Time out. Do you have your ID? Time out. Time out. Do you have your ID?
What are you, the
I know.
opposing team?
Are we going to sit here and just try to talk over each other? It's amazing.
No, I'm just
it's awesome.
telling you to time out.
No,
so I
time
can
out. Do you have your
correct
ID?
I'm not giving you my ID.
You're not
And
giving
I'll
your
never
ID.
give my ID unless I commit a crime or am under articulatable suspicion that I'm going to commit a crime, which obviously there is none. I mean, it kind of sucks, but you gotta take a breath, take a seat back, and understand that I've done nothing wrong, man. This is America. You guys gotta remember. Is that
trying to leave?
Well, female. Who cares if it's a female?
She was
in
spooked
this
out
day and
about
age,
it.
right?
Why is this person out here taking photographs of me?
Because I can. Because I can,
You
man.
just sit here and record.
By the way, that was literally the rallying cry as well. These people don't change land to land. That was the rallying cry that every beta male used to take power is the women and children. They still do it. The political science folks, they know how to hack into the average slave's brain, right? This is all sorcery. So they go, some woman, they keep go, a woman, a female, a woman, a female. If you just keep invoking it like that Pennywise creature, that clown, they get in the mirror and they say its name and it appears. They just keep saying woman and child. It gives them a way in to interfere with your property and rights. That's the game. We all know that. Very, very slick, fellas. You guys are like next level on the psychological warfare.
If you think I'm going to do something bad, your whole thing.
No, we think you're absolutely creepy, and we are agreeing with the citizen.
Is it because my eyeballs?
Hold on, let me.
Contacts in?
We believe that he is extremely creepy, and what he is doing is a horrible thing. But all he's trying to do is do his little bait and switch, which is a horrible thing. So that's who he is. That's what he's about. Make sure you include that in the story.
I'll keep
Sir,
it. It's all going to be.
You're dope. You're amazing.
Thanks, bro.
Make sure you try not to creep out too
I
much.
won't. I'm not.
Have a good day.
All right, you guys take care. See ya. The walk of shame, gentlemen. Learn the law. Got to learn the law. Walk of shame. I may be creepy, but you guys are doing the walk of shame, brother. Have a good day. Stay safe.
As the exchange continues, the focus turns to the importance of standing firm in legal rights.
Tell us about legal rights. You don't have any legal rights. Another moron. Another British moron. Who can't figure out the difference between his parliamentary fascistic status nonsense and our parliamentary fascistic status nonsense and the common law. There's little addendum there at the end.
And why couldn't the cop have just admitted that, he had made a mistake and said, sorry, brother, walked away? I mean, even though he didn't have any, advice to give him about breaking the laws, he had to call him a creep on camera. He had to just get that last dig in there before he walked away. Why are cops like that?
Because they didn't get to have their control fetish met. They didn't get to be in charge and in control. And, it sucks, but whatever. We have a thing called the law, and it'd be kind of cool if we could just uphold that,
But,
and rights,
for ID when they're looking right at you. That never makes sense to me. You're looking right at me. What do you need?
Well, I just need some ID.
They need that person.
Oh, yeah. They need the account that they're going to charge in order to generate revenue, just like a credit card. They need that card with the personage so they can enter it into their system and generate some revenue for the corporations, some service providers.
So Paul, wouldn't that be like the assurity or the indemnity bond? Because the minute that we're born, so if we're born and you weigh 7 pounds 4 ounces, the crown or the queen, whatever, goes and puts 7 pounds 4 ounces whatever on you. Well, she doesn't just go and put that gold on nothing without it being insured. So that's why we're insured, and that way the judge can go, okay, bonded. Well, how you releasing a bond on us? Who gives you the authority to release the bond on us as a living? And that's when it becomes when the birth certificate, once you become a birth certificate, if you order 5, 10 of them, it's always going to be a different number. It should be the same number, but no. And then that's why when people go to court, they have 4 or 5 different AKAs because they're tacking the bond on every single name. So, you know, a misdemeanor is a certain amount of money, a felony is a certain amount of money. If you autograph your name for a check, if you go to prison, if you go to school, it actually builds and builds. So for that interest is just accumulating through the time after time. So everyone says, well, Chris, why don't you believe in license and registration and insurance? Well, I believe in insurance because if somebody fucks my stuff up, or if I fuck somebody else's stuff up, I want to be able to have something back there. Well, that's where the insurety or the indemnity bond comes in.
It makes no sense because don't be sorry, man. It's just that I want to comment on it. It makes no sense because a lot of these places, there's a minimum coverage of like up to 5,000, whatever it is. They're not going to pay you out more than a certain amount. So if we're talking to damage the property, everybody's worried about, rather than some exorbitant bill because somebody's like half dead, which oftentimes insurance doesn't cover a lot of that anyway. This is why, again, common sense wins the day, because I don't ride around usually in anything more than $2,000 to $10,000 because I would prefer to get a used car. This way, instead of me putting $2,000 into protecting a car for the day I might get into an accident over the year or more, I could just put that $2,000 in my pocket and buy another car in the event that it gets destroyed, right? So instead of me paying out for insurance that I may never use and them getting $200 or more a month, after 10 months, that's $2,000. After 20 months, so on and so forth. So after 5 years, I just go buy myself another $10,000 car, or in the event of an accident, rather than giving money into a hole that I get no equity, product, or service back for unless it's in the event of. So, and hooker. Okay, this person is getting thrown out because they're constantly like projecting onto everyone in the experience, and they seem to be mentally and emotionally ill. And I get it, but like try to tone it down a little bit, I guess, if you can. Right? There's only place for one mentally, emotionally ill person on this broadcast, and that's me. Relax in the chat, please. What was I saying, John? Right. The idea of paying into something that you may never have to use or get back instead of just banking that and using it to buy a new one in the event that we get in an accident. Because
you got millions
beyond a certain point anyway.
Well, and then you got millions of people paying into that. Like, if you wreck an automobile, they usually say like a $500,000 deductible, something like that. Well, what are we paying all that insurance for? And then half of the time they try to not give you all the money what it's worth anyways. So it's almost like a big old scheme,
Like most things, they want you to pay for nothing or pay to lack. And it doesn't make any sense. It only makes sense for these people to go, what am I going to do? And again, they're so retarded that even if they've gotten an accident before, they've never figured out that the insurance company oftentimes is not going to cover the whole cost. So they're going to give you like $5,000 or $10,000 because that's the state minimum coverage, and the rest is on you, Bubba. So they're like, what am I going to do when some illegal crashes into my Hummer? Stop riding around in a fucking vehicle that's like meant for military situations that cost as much as a house? I don't know. You need that? Is that necessary? No, but I want it. Okay, well then it comes with risk. Things you want in life. You want to date the stripper too because you think she likes you. Comes with a risk. Just saying. Where's the beginning and end here of freedom and responsibility and accountability and liability? I don't mean liability, L-I-E. I mean like the ability to go, hey, I'm liable for this. Let me cover the damages because I save my money. I work and I save and I reinvest and I have like risk capital around in the event of I take a risk and it goes bad, I can cover the damages to some degree. Well, when everybody's a debt slave and living hand to mouth, paycheck to paycheck and way beyond their means, they need insurance. Because if they run into an illegal or illegal runs into them, they can't cover the $50,000 repair that's completely inflated that they're being scammed on for their Hummer.
Well, look at
I guess don't live like that would be the answer. But no, not for a dumb slave who has to have all the garbage that doesn't matter.
Sorry, and look at Costco. You go buy a battery from Costco and then use it, and it has a warranty. It says warranted on the battery, and then you try to take it back. They're actually gonna prorate it. So now you don't get to just exchange your battery at Costco. They prorate it. It's like these places.
They give you a 9-volt. You buy a car battery and they hand you a 9-volt back.
Yeah, watch. Hey, yeah. When you're next to Costco next time, just be like, yeah, I would like to exchange a battery. And then see what they're going to say, well, we have to prorate it. Well, what the hell prorated? So I would advise people not to buy shit from Costco.
That's a word the corporation's made up for. We're taking some of your money and giving you back less.
Yes, exactly.
You know, they're good at that. They're good at like making up words and terms that really mean robbing and stealing, but it doesn't. Because they go to court, we didn't rob and steal, we prorated. And now you have a prolapsed anus.
Well, look at
okay.
Look at the bottled water or soda or anything, cans. They're like, oh, CRV tax or something. It's like, what the fuck? I mean, it's wild, man. And then if you bring a bunch of cans to them or aluminum, they get to sell it by the tons. So they're getting such a good deal. So they're giving us little crumbs just to think that, oh, we're happy. You know,
think about the mind and heart of a fascist status slave who thinks that a corporation, once again, has more rights and abilities than man does. If the corporation can put up a bond, an X amount of guaranteed cash, why can't John do that for me? Why can't I do it for me? Why can't I do it for him? Why can't I go, I'm going to create a personal liability bond that says up to X amount of damage is covered because it's in escrow. Here you go. Now you don't have to worry your little heart. So I can't do that. We can't do that. But a corporation of men and women can, don't you know? And you got to pay them for the service, right? These people would have us on a land that's supposedly free where we're forced into doing business with big corporations instead of replacing them with common sense and the common law. And the same cause and effect result outcome, right? Somehow in the statist fascist slave's mind, the corporation's like a superhero. You know, like Walmart's like bigger than your dad. You know, like your dad used to be your hero, no longer. As a child, it's like Mr. Walmart, the guy who runs Walmart. You know, whatever their name are, the Waltons.
Walton, yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Walton's everyone's daddy because a corporation is just supersedes man and woman at this point. And government's an example of that. There's no difference. Right? So this is the mind and heart of a statist fascist because fascism is the merger of state and corporate powers. They did one better. The corporate powers are the state now and the government. They're claiming. Walmart's your daddy. They're going to use policy and code to get you to force business with them. How dare you think that you're going to like replace products and services with your own understandings, applications, and results? That's not what we state as fascist, communist, collectivists do. I know. And that's why I'm doing it. Because it needs to stop. It is the bane of our existence from the beginning of time. This belief that the corporations, whether it's the supposed government or the actual insurance company, corporations, and the rest of them, are above and beyond men and women for which they serve. Absolute inversion land, toxicity, and insanity. While they claim that's me. More gaslighting, right? You're toxic and insane. That's you and the way you're all living. And denying the individual's rights and abilities to do anything they can do and more. How are we going to get credit without going to the bank? It's called credibility. You wouldn't know it. I see who you serve on here and who you listen to and give money to. I see who you do business with. Give your time, energy, attention. You wouldn't know about credit and credibility without a corporation because you don't have any and you don't have anyone around you who has any. You don't know how to work in trust, equity, and faith. But you can sign your life away to a bunch of boys in suits to give you their version of credit. Good luck. I'll work my whole life as much as possible in various ways to avoid that. I will not work in fake credit with a bunch of people who have no credibility because the majority has no credibility. That's the game with everything.
And we give them all the power. We're the ones given, not, you know, I'm just saying, you know.
Yeah, your word is your bond.
Yeah.
You know, used to be you went to, I have friends here who work like that. If I don't work like that, I'll show you other people who do. Got a guy who knows, he's a master mechanic. The guy whose land is over here, right, that we're staying with. He gets everything that he gets by giving his service to other people, working in trust, equity, and faith. He goes, give me a bale of hay, give me a goat, you know, give Paulie Boy 10 red light treatments, and then he fixes your transmission, and we're square. Working in trust, equity, and faith. Doesn't require legal currency and tender. Doesn't require fake credit from a bank. Requires you to actually have a talent, ability, a skill, have some product or service, and work in trust, equity, and faith with others who have what you want or need.
All you're doing is handing someone else's labor to someone when you're handing them those bills. I mean,
it's a coupon.
People's labor, exactly.
Coupon for value, coupon for labor, which is why Slackhot has none of them because he refuses to labor. Sorry, I didn't want to go there.
Well, look at code enforcement. They make people go take a contractor's license. Then they want you to go to them, pay them to come and make sure everything's inspected. Okay. Well, didn't somebody just take a construction, class and all that to get their license? They should already know. Why do we need a third party? Why can't we, like you said, just go to that person? Hey, we need our house built, this and that. I trust you to do it. Cool. No, it's everybody just into their own little, and then it's like, I don't mean to bring up Jack Bald twat, but, you sit there and it's like, you try to talk to him. Like I went on there to try to, actually look out for him, not that he needs it, but I see Tommy over there just running his fucking mouth like always. So I just wanted to kind of just say something, and not mean or nothing.
Again, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but you got to recognize the game that goes on here, and you got to stop playing into it. Slackhot's not a victim. He's lonely, and this gives him purpose on here. He has somewhere to be every day. He's got a whole crowd of delusionals, 30 of them like Tommy who show up and wipe his ass for him. And he lets the people... Chris, you're missing the point. He's not being bullied. He's letting people come into his house to cause a scene so he can go, look, everyone, I'm a victim. Yep. He loves it. Without that, he has no purpose and no content. He's not being bullied. He's not harmed by it. Without that, he'd be actually bullied and harmed because people would start to catch on to the fact that he's a boring, confused loser failure. Well, the fact that he lets Tommy and others on to accuse him of shit allows him to then say, look how godly and loving I am. Look how much of an accuser you are. You're Satan. It's a game he's playing on everyone. Why would you let him deceive you that he's a victim when without that he has nothing?
Hell no. I don't know. Hell no. I looked at him last conversation. I was just like, dude, good luck. Good luck. That's all.
Yeah, for him to just see, how what I'm saying is true? Because when you do try to go over there and work with him or even stick up for him, he eventually gets insulted. Because he goes, don't you get what I'm doing, dumbass? He won't tell you that. He's not like me, where if I play a trick, I'm going to reveal it to you and go, look how goofy you were. He's literally playing a trick on everyone every day, laughing in their face, and then getting mad at you and resentful when you take him to be an idiot. He's not an idiot. He's just insane. There's very intelligent, insane people. I might be one of them. But I'm just saying, like, there's a thin line between genius and insanity. He's straddling that line constantly. So he's not a stupid man. He knows better, and he knows how to do and be better. He's choosing not to, purporting a lie, watching you all show up to fight for the truth, and then playing the victim when you do it. And then resenting you when you try to help him because he goes, don't you think I know what I'm doing, dumbass?
That's right.
I'm here to get what I want. And if you're not going to give me that, you're my enemy. You're not convincing me of anything. You're not helping me. I know how to get help if I want it. I don't want that.
And then people that, when I was in prison, I don't mean to disrespect, but some of the most weirdest motherfuckers were the ones preaching and holding Bible study. You know, I'm like, what the fuck? How the hell are you holding Bible study? You crazy? You know,
There's a fine line between genius and insanity, synchronicity, and schizophrenia, man. I say it all the time for that reason. And I'm sure if I'm not going to throw myself in that experiment, other people will. They'll say, Paulie Boy's guy number one for that. You know, and it's about, does it work? This is so simple. You can call me whatever you want, and I can even be that. Does it work? My insanity works to some degree till it doesn't. And where it doesn't, I call it out. Hey, my insanity's not working there. You know, what they keep telling me I'm insane for seems to work a majority of the time. So am I insane? It's working. I'm getting what I want and what I need, and so are others out of my experience. His is the opposite of that. He and others in experience are getting nothing they want or need. They're losing. So your insanity, even if it's equivalent to mine, is not working for you or anyone else. I can't be any more equitable than that.
Your insanity is allowing the insanity to work.
There you go. It's like Van Gogh or any one of these people, right? Like their insanity, Dali, their insanity works for them. They painted pictures. People talk about them. They're interesting. They have value and power for the rest of their life. They left a legacy. They did something here. They were a part of something. It's what you're all desperate for while being insane, and your insanity, if it's not rather boring half the time, is going nowhere and doesn't work for you. I'll even say it's okay to be insane if it works for you. You know, I guess maybe it's not quite the right word. Mentally and emotionally ill. How about that? Let's be like, really, you can be somewhat mentally and emotionally ill according to the crowd or others if it's working for you. Is it really then mentally emotionally illness? I guess it remains to be seen. When it's not working for you, it's just plain old mental and emotional illness, and it's kind of upsetting, disconcerting to witness. It's kind of embarrassing.
Imagine being like I'm just starting small with this guy, but like at a city council meeting and shit, you know, he can't put nobody on mute no more, man. He has to actually man up, take it, and do his work through it, you know? And so many people are so used to not having held accountability because they're on their phone, texting, talking shit, or knowing they'll never see that person. When I was growing up, we didn't have cell phones to text each other. We had like beepers, and we'd beep to go meet somewhere, knock each other out, shake each other's hand, and move on. Nowadays, there's no accountability. If you say how you feel and don't agree with these crazy motherfuckers, you're the nut, you know. So it's pretty dictatorship.
Yeah, Slackcott is the perfect example of the guy in middle school, high school who never grew out of the idea that if you won't hang out with him, he doesn't want sympathy or empathy. He wants entropy. He's a perfect example of misery loves company. He's the exact guy in school who, if you didn't hang out with him, lose and fail, and call it something else, he'd make you an enemy and say, you don't love me. We're not friends anymore. Why? Because I don't want to hang around the same place doing the same shit, going nowhere, losing and failing.
That's right.
I'm now not your friend anymore. Yeah, okay, well then I see what it is. It's misery loves company while you claim it's something else. I regularly, because I have different aspects of me, you know, I regularly sort of am tested and challenged by him. And I'm sure most people are in Slackcott's life because they're endeared to him on some level. They may even sympathize or empathize, but there's no talking to him, communicating, getting through, or going anywhere with him. He's bound to fuck it up with his delusion and denial. It just leaves him alienated and alone. And that is a cause of concern for people who care about anybody. No one wants to see anybody have to live that and potentially harm themselves or be alienated and lonely and disturbed for the rest of their life. But what do you do? Because you can't love people like that up close and personal. They'll just abuse your trust and your good sense and good reason and good nature. And you can't like neglect them and throw them away, because then you feel kind of guilty, because you know that there's a Slackcott in all of us to a degree, right? I don't deny that. But there's, a middle ground, a fine line there. And most people are not capable of ascertaining and walking that middle ground of loving and caring for someone, being endeared to them, but not like sympathizing or even completely empathizing with their nonsense and irrationality that they know on some level is nonsense. I've watched Slackcott take the veil down at times and make fun of himself and how ridiculous he is. He knows he's ridiculous. He knows it's nonsense. I've watched him talk about how he's failed at everything and have no results. So why is it when I point it out and say it's not real? Because it's pride and arrogance. The reality is, if Jack, just like me or anyone else, cares about Jack and everyone around him will support him doing what needs to be done to get what he wants or needs. And anything less than that is nonsense. It's delusion, it's denial, and it's not gotten anyone anything or anywhere yet. And what's really sick and twisted, this is why I'm fascinated by these dynamics. I'll never stop being fascinated. Jack is just an example of the dynamic. There's at least 20, 30, 40, 50, however many people willing to watch Jack be miserable, claim it's something else, lose and fail, and then go, oh, and never be real with themselves or others about what's going on because they think it makes them better people than me or others who actually want to change. And actually want the success to happen. And actually see the potential.
Well, I wish the motherfuckers the best. I mean, I hope they come to their senses. I don't want to mention names because I don't want to send the energy out there. But
no, yeah, you can't even. I'm already doing too much, bro. I'll be clear with you. I know the whole time I'm doing this that I shouldn't even be, because you know how it is. Once you address them or him directly, it's then a call out for all them to show up or start talking about you to give them more of their fake purpose, right? So I'm somewhat feeding into it, but ultimately I believe that my heart is somewhat pure, my intentions are pure, and I'm not going to deny reality in order to show care and love from a distance while also not inviting these people to be in my day-to-day life, and then give them the freedom to talk about me, think about me, feel about me if they wish. It doesn't change cause and effect, the results, and the fact that I would love to have a community with so many more people, but I'm realistic and understanding of myself and others enough, I believe, to know it's most likely never going to happen. For obvious reasons.
I don't wish harm upon nobody. No, I'm not saying you do. I'm just saying, for the record, I don't wish.
I was playing with the idea. I know Slackcot's going to lose his house. I don't know anything. Okay. The wise man knows what he knows and knows what he does not know. I don't know anything conclusively, but I'll tell you this. Probability wise, he's not going to keep that house. Probability wise, at some point, the equity's going to run out. Probability wise, that lawsuit's going to go through and he's going to get thrown the fuck out of there because he's squatting. And then I already entertained and even did the bit non-bit. It's a non-bit because I opened my mind and heart to allowing that motherfucker to even stay on this land wherever I go or wherever I'm at. Presuming he stays out of the way, which he's not, he wouldn't. Presuming he's not selfish and greedy, which he is. Presuming he wouldn't make himself a victim and be codependent and needy, which he would. And bust everyone's balls some way, somehow. You know he would. Because that's what he does. But I opened my mind and heart to actually housing this motherfucker on some level because I felt he's pathetic and embarrassing. And I feel bad for him. And what did he say to me? In pure Talcottian fashion, which is why you can't get enough of it. He goes, you think I'm going to come live there as if it's not the Hilton? You think I'm going to work the field and grow food? Oh, no, Jack. God forbid you live on the land in less than the most comfortable circumstances while paying nothing and have a free place again to live and just have to work the land to get whatever we're going to eat because that's part of the communal process. You're too good for that, right? Newsflash, I don't have to do that, but I know I have to do that. What makes you think you don't have to do that? The balls on this guy is just unparalleled, and it's not the good kind of balls. It's the really tiny, insecure, wanting power and value that you can't command kind of balls. Yeah. Not good. Not a good mix.
No. It's like, you know that those little cats that you feed and it grows up to be a lion and it eats the person that was feeding it?
Right. So, that's that you're saying?
That's just what I'm vibing, you know. So, but all right, well, yo, I just wanted to earlier just come up and say hi to you and glad to see you. You know, it's always really cool to see what you have to say and what you always bring. You know, and John, what's up, man? And everybody out there, always
good to see you, Chris.
You too, and a lot of people in the chat support you and support the cause too. And I don't want to say names personally, but everybody out there, respect as well, you know. So
the guy in chat wants to know what's his channel about. Everything and nothing. I'll see you later, Chris. I'm gonna wrap up here.
All right, brother. Peace.
Take care, brother. Take care.
John, do you want to give a final word, I guess, in that fashion?
In that fashion? No, I've got really nothing to add to that. I guess you know my feelings. I got my tax bill today, dude, and I don't want to pay it.
John, I covered yesterday that this is about what you and others believe. They can't tell you what you believe.
I know.
You could argue they can't convict you for not believing what it is that they want you supposedly to
believe.
believe. So
Right.
you
I
are
know.
foreign as far as I understand. I'll just give you my understanding again. Washington, D.C., the United States is differentiated from the United States of America, and it's defined as a federal corporation. I wasn't born inside a Walmart. I don't owe any allegiance to a corporation and its corporate policies and procedures. I am a foreign, if anything, American national.
Talking about property taxes, Paul.
I'm not interested what you want to call it, because it
Okay,
all falls under the same idea. First and foremost, there's three elements of jurisdiction: personal, subject matter, geographical. They can't meet any of them in order to prosecute legitimately. I'm not telling you they can't. I'm just telling you that I've used this understanding and experience to get out of, as they like to say, all the charges that have ever been put on me. And as you know, there's been a ton of them. What's the difference between them charging me with some bill for currency for tax and saying I got guns I shouldn't have, weed, no license, registration, insurance? I'm going to blow something up next. They were claiming in the paperwork, but didn't charge me for. Claimed a felony on me for bribing an officer because I told him I'm going to take him to court and sue him if you interfere with my property. That's not a bribe. Far from it. So, once you get so many charges and you watch it all just go away, by applying the law and understanding contract and all the rest of it and jurisdiction, you just start to think, well, what can they bring to my table that's actually going to stick when it all applies to the same format, process, and procedure, or lack thereof? They have no one on the other side. They have no firsthand knowledge. They have no bill of attainder. They have no true bill of expenses. They have no audit without my consent. They have no evidence of income. What they do have evidence is of non-taxable gifts from extended friends and family, which is well within my right to exchange. So I just can't see how, part of me, in a way, I guess, the sick wannabe player part of me almost hopes that they bring more to my table so I could just prove these concepts or deal with the consequences, because that's going to make me one way or the other. Adversity makes men, prosperity makes monsters. What good is getting to some value and stacking something if you can't secure it? And how else are we going to secure it other than physically and metaphysically, right? And more importantly, in this case, metaphysically, with the pen and with the understanding of the words and terms, the etymology and the law, the foundations. So, this is where you then have to practice. It's called practice law for a reason, or practice upholding the law. You have to put these properties in trust. You have to either make a claim and or ask questions. If my belief is incorrect, please explain to me how it is from the perspective of wrongdoing. Because if I'm not doing wrong, I really don't even care how you think my belief is wrong. But if you want to claim that there's a law some way, somehow, that I have to give you something to enjoy what it is that I've co-created, I'd like to hear about it. And they're never going to answer it because it doesn't exist. And they're going to put themselves in default. And their own manual says, and the word on the street is, that Donnie and others are going to make the IRS go away. I don't know how true that is. They don't know how true it is either. But nothing would surprise me, right? That we have two states where counties have said we're no longer enforcing certain codes because they're unconstitutional. We're actually involved in something here. It's actually working on some level. We're actually getting results. And there's a good chance you're going to start to see it go mainstream and worldwide. And no, it ain't QAnus either. It's the real ones on the ground, one at a time, 10 by 10, doing what's true and what's right. And these motherfuckers are shaking in their boots because we're fucking up their business and we're not doing any wrong by doing it. We're actually doing what's true and what's right. They know it and we know it. Tell us all about how we're sovereign citizen terrorists. We're the real founding daddies who are going to bring this place back to being great while your clown ass president of a corporation lays claim to the actual work we're doing day by day. Get a fucking clue. It's another co-opter of a movement he's not part of, didn't start and can't end. Because it comes from God, whatever you believe that is. And we need it now more than ever.
What was the purpose?
And everyone knows it. Go ahead.
What was the purpose of him claiming he wanted to annex Canada and Greenland and stuff like that? I mean,
because they want to do New World Order and combine all the state ofs into continental governments through the corporate headquarters. What do you think CDC, WHO, and NIH was about? Creating a centralized, corporatized structure where they can rule the continents instead of state of countries. It's purely New World Order. It'd be great to unite all the state ofs in the country since they're all slaved out with code now and all cucked up. Yeah, I'm sure it would be to you, you scum.
There's a biblical
un-American
theory.
trash.
There's a biblical theory behind that I'd like to tell you sometime, but not today, obviously.
Yeah, it's called Babylon. Over, done, close the book. It's called the Tower of Babel. We're going to combine all this crap and stack it so high, we're going to reach the sun. Yeah, sure. You're going to burn yourself up.
Oh, can I show you something before you go real quick? If you want to use it, it's up to you.
And let's be clear that none of this could happen without the pathetic, weak-ass, duped-out citizenry on the ground. Not Donnie and Joey's fucking problem. They're bringing a solution you slaves are begging for because you won't bring the damn solution yourself that I and others have showed you. You're so fucking weak in the knees. I get so weak in the knees in my slavery. I can't decide. I'm singing to Mimi and the others.
Can you
the
see
big-breasted MILFs. Go ahead. What is that?
Can you see it?
This guy is full of himself. No, I'm full of the spirit, and you can leave. If I'm so full of myself and I'm so off-putting, don't be here. I can't see it, John.
C60 Evo.
It says rectal lubricant, John. Okay. Now my question is, why do you have that? It says male rectal lubricant. I see it right there. Male water-based rectal lubricant.
I don't know if you can see this shit. Can you see that?
You planning on voting or something? Is that why you have that?
No.
You plan on paying double the tax this year?
This one channel I watched, this woman developed this herself in Texas, and it's
what is it, John? Tell me what it is.
Antioxidant with vitamins and stuff. And this is the second bottle I purchased. This bottle is $114. Just so you know.
It's that woman's urine, John. I hate to let you know. I just researched in the back. I just typed it in. Look, I'm typing right now.
You shut up for a second, please. It's in olive oil, and dude, I haven't gotten sick, and I'll tell you, my sleep has never been better. If you don't sleep well, man, this shit, I sleep through the night.
So you're taking olive oil and stuff, quote unquote, and it's making you sleep better.
You want me to read the fucking ingredients now?
You're drinking, you like Lubass. You're drinking pure animal fat.
Just go to C60
you're drinking pure fat.
C60evo.com, and you'll find out what it is.
Okay.
But I'm just saying it might be good for you.
I'm not promoting this woman's urine for all we know.
I'm promoting it because I like it and it works for me. I'm not promoting it for any other reason.
John, you know how many people say they voted for Donnie and it's already working and everyone should get some of that? It's a thing called placebo, John. We'll talk about it later, right? I'm just busting your ball. Look, he's like, what?
I'm just saying it seems to be working for me, so I just thought I'd recommend it to you if you wanted to give it a shot. But get the one if you're going to get the one in olive oil because it's the strongest one.
Now give me that again because now I got to look into this.
C60. Oh God.
C-section what?
C60evo.com. The C60 and Evo are in capital.
They get all these old white people who sit around with QVC. This is the modern day QVC. Is Amazon.
No. I did not find it this way. Oh, I see what you're saying.
He spent $300 for olive oil for 3 ounces of olive oil.
Could very well be, but I'll tell you, my sleep. You sleep so fucking deep since I've been taking this shit. I sleep completely through the night.
Okay.
So that's the noticeable part.
I found GEE60, which is apparently a General Electric made train.
C60 Evo.
Oh.
Charlie.
E60. I found E40, a rapper. He says everybody's got choices.
C60 Evo.
C60 Evo.com. I found Rachel Ray's OnlyFans. She's doing OnlyFans now? That hussy.
How the hell did you get there from here?
I think it's something to do with EVOO. It's like a catchphrase or something she has. Leads you right to her OnlyFans. These people are disgusting. I guess I'll pay the $2.99 just to take a look, but these people are disgusting. Right. C60evo.com. Tangerine Dream. Do you have that, John? That's what it says. Tangerine Dream. Are you rubbing rich body cream on yourself? Facial serum. Ooh, that sounds sexy. $214 for that, huh? Yeah. They got you, boy. They seen you coming.
This one it's 4 ounces. It's 114 with shipping.
What the fuck is ES60? It says olive oil with ES60. Am I supposed to know what that is?
Well, that's why I told you to go there so you can look it up.
It turns out it's Elon's seminal fluid is what that is. They mixed Elon's seminal fluid with olive oil, and it's healing all the people that would have voted for Trump if they didn't watch this broadcast. And probably did, but won't tell me about it. I get it. All right. Well, I got to look more into this. What the hell is in this crap? What the hell is E6?
And it has absolutely no ill effects, and I love the way I sleep on it.
So you don't know what's in it?
I don't know if they're proprietary ingredients, but vitamins, and it's an antioxidant. Vitamin D, vitamin C.
I'm gonna have you go, John.
Just hang on for 5 seconds.
Yeah, I'll hang on. Yeah,
because you.
I'll call back.
Let me see if I can fucking read these ingredients. Oh, fuck. Oh fuck. Need a magnifying glass for this shit.
Oh man, John, you got disconnected. It seems like. Oh well, I really was interested in finding out what was in that C60 EOOV, but maybe next time. Next time we'll call.
Look it up on your own if you fucking find it interesting. Just, I mean, you're making all kinds of bucks here. It shouldn't be too much. It's
John, we got a thing, okay, and it's worked well, at least on the East Coast from the beginning of time. I masturbate before I go to sleep. I sleep like a baby every time.
No, that's fine.
I don't need I'll probably wind up using the E60 as masturbatory lubricant instead of ingesting it.
C60.
So that's $140 lubricant, and it's kind of steep for me.
But if you want to give it a shot, give it a shot. I recommend it. Not that means anything.
All right, no, John, don't do the whole not that it means anything. You know?
Well, I'm just saying it's had absolutely no ill effects since I've been taking it, and it's been a couple of months now.
All right. All right, get out of here. Give a final word if you have to, and get out of here. I'm going to wrap up.
Thank you. Hey, it was great seeing you again. I'm glad you guys
are as well
with Cameron, and I'll stop back and see you guys.
All right. Love you, brother.
Love you. God bless you. God bless you.
God bless us, everyone. All right, folks. You heard it here first. We came, we saw, we did whatever that was. We're leaving, and we're going to do it again tomorrow to some degree. Peace and blessings. Love to everyone. Much love, much love. Said it twice. Thank you to the contributors and supporters. You are a blessing to I, as always. And yeah, we'll let you know how the upcoming trial works out. Suing the county and the officials. Not the county, the officials, the agents, the men and women acting as agents. The land, all the rest of what we got going on. You'll be updated as it presents itself. But if not, we just, continue to do what we do. Broadcasting wise. All right. I'm out of here. I guess say goodnight to the bad guy. Back tomorrow, 12 to 5. Somewhere.
We can.
Maybe. If you're lucky. Guy's so full of himself.
Put you in the sickle for the harvest is right. We ain't down for wickedness, false prophets are lie. Woman to the wicked grass of learn the sight. Unquenchable flame, stars fall in the night. Shemayim snap the scroll, mountains fled in the anger. Hills a flock of rams, skipping special forces, recon angels. Really by no labels, we bout labor for the source. Wells up in infinite, waters coming forth. Spiritual revival, dehydration shall I pour. Kept the run down to the mouth, cool floor. Kingdom heaven in me is parts of the morbid head. Treasure like deep in you key to the never end. We all a ray, a fragment piece of the sea sledge. Point of a center, he segment filled in with ether. Hit me on and then you're passing the present teacher. Pre-sealed and covenant in the Mayan Easter.
Listen to me, I want to help you. I want to help you live the life you want to love.
Hit me on and then you're passing the present teacher. Pre-sealed and covenant in the Mayan Easter. Not a game, stolen the soul arrangement. Have a series in the details. Mirrors and smoking angels. Incriminating emails, fake news, read the paper. Pimping who been printing, it's all designed to take ya. Division in your cells, almighty sustain. Ain't got how relying on nothing else. In trouble, it's all vapor, elder wind in the sails. The water, the whole rainbow, reclamation, just a vessel, a wrestle. Jonah, you came for. Stay mind, woe it holy who. Lord, if they only knew how they controlling you, thought still a slave. Look how they holding you, enemy scoping you, word on my way. Stay mind, woe it holy who. Lord, if they they only knew how they controlling you, thoughts still a slave. Look how they holding you, enemy scoping you, word on my wing. Force tremendous, Bill Adam breath, living dust, mushy for the enemy, burnt down like a Dutch. Once upon a distant dirty sackcloth in the ashes. Truth don't grow with mischief, prayer get raised about the ashes. Save me from the mire, I would fell of not your pasture. Had you not an anchor, if you save me, I'll be thrown to the thief, leech, mind of the corn. Stone in the sling, sing signs in the storm. Rock foundation, time echo with the north. Recon over game, wings fly with the force. All purpose type material to camouflage the course. Tiger stripe, orange, red drip from the source. We all array your fragment piece of the sea slits. Point of a center, he segment filled in with ether. He'll be on it then, you're passing the present teacher. Pre-sealed and covenant, Nehemiah, not Easter. Stay mind what we're holding you. Lord, if they only knew how they controlling you, thoughts still a slave. Look how they holding you, enemy scoping you, word on my word.
These people are disgusting.
Stay mind what we're holding you. Lord, if they only knew how they controlling you, thoughts still a slave. Look how they holding you, enemy scoping you, word on my wing.
Disgusting.